back.
Oh, is this thing on?
Oh, the boys are back in town. They're back.
I thought we were done.
They canned us out.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, we've took a little holiday, innit?
When was the last episode?
Start of June.
Was it actually?
Yeah, because it was before we went away. And I think that's when it released. I think we recorded it before.
I think you're right, yeah.
Kendrick's album wasn't even out yet. That's when we recorded our last pod.
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah, so it's been a long road.
Apologies
back.
for the gap in episodes.
But the boys, you can't count them out. You can never do it.
You live a very wild lifestyle.
Yeah. So now we're back for episode 9. There's no more Star Wars movies to make silly pun names out of. We ran out. I'm sorry. That's the real reason it's taken us so long.
Yeah.
So where do you want to pick back up with?
Well, I feel like we've missed quite a few topics.
Yeah, a lot of music's come out. Stranger Things has come out and then come out again.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan has wrapped up. Moon Knight, I think, had just
finished.
wrapped up,
Yeah.
but we didn't talk about it. Doctor Strange, we didn't talk about that on the pod. So
Yeah.
take your pick, really, wherever you want to dive in.
Well, I remember did we talk about? I don't think we even talked about Future's album, did we?
No, it had come out, but we were like, let's wait and talk about all the music,
All the new releases
together. So do you want to do that now? New releases?
I guess we talk about if we start
It's
with
been
music.
a lot. All right. Where do you want to start? Who do you want to start with?
I'm happy to start with Future because I feel like Kendrick, we might have a bit more of a debate over.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Let's do it. Let me bring up the track list just so we don't flop. All right. So Future. I Never Liked You. What do you think?
I thought it was a good album. Quite a good album.
I forgot he added songs to it. I still haven't heard any of them.
Same here. So we're not going to.
So we're not discussing the deluxe that isn't a deluxe. He just re-released it with extra tracks.
Yeah. No, I thought it was a good album. I was pleasantly surprised.
I was going to say, I think this is exactly what we were hoping for from Future. When we were talking about it sort of being like The Wizard, that style of Future album, rather than his more recent release. And I think this definitely was. This was just a super consistent Future album.
Great features.
Absolutely. Obviously, Yay, it's the one from Donda 2 even.
Yes, yeah, but brushed up.
Yeah, definitely. And then, man, just Drake absolutely fucking killed both his features.
Drake features.
Yeah, I mean, Wait For You is already one of my favourite songs of the year.
Yeah, nice.
Just
great track.
you got that. Future and Drake, I feel like they can make almost any, within their lane, they can make almost any genre of collab at this point, because they've just worked together that often. And you got that beautiful Thames sample and just Thames's voice just sound,
No, it works perfectly, that track.
Yeah.
Obviously, the track with Ye, I thought was great as well.
Yeah, I thought Ye was, it gave me hope, because, Donda 2, what I'd heard of it, I was like, I don't know.
Whack.
Yeah, and I already wasn't a fan of Donda really, so I was sort of like, what's going on? But this was like...
Yeah, but because all the stuff that was being said about Donda 2, it was meant to be executive produced by Future, and then this song came out of it, so it kind of had me a little bit if they actually collabed on Donda 2,
if they actually made an album,
I think it would be great. Just this because it's the type of sound was very similar to a track off Donda. If that was on Donda, it wouldn't feel out of place.
It sort of reminds you of Off the Grid and
stuff
like that.
Yeah. So it just made me think this newer Ye sound we've been getting in recent months.
Yeah,
I feel like Future fits on it so well.
Yeah, considering they don't have a lot of collabs, really. I think they only have the one. I Won, right?
I Won. That's the Future song.
I think that's it. Do they have any others apart from that? I don't think so. So it's not either way. Even if they have like one or two others, it's not a pairing you automatically go, oh yeah, Ye and Future. But when you think about it,
it should.
Yeah, like they are a perfect pair, especially at the moment where you just kind of want to hear Ye talk his shit. Really, with everything that's been going on in his life, I just kind of want to hear him whiling out a bit.
Which is what he's doing on that song. So it's just obviously we got Gunner and Thug.
Yeah,
before they
free the boys.
Big slime. Yeah, Puffin' on Zooties.
Oh, what a great track. That Holy Ghost.
Love You Better.
Yeah, the intro track 7:12 p.m. I really like. I mean, I'll be honest. Most of these songs, I'm That Fella. Great song. I quite like what was the outro of Back to Basics.
Yeah.
Obviously now I don't know. The only one I didn't really love was Chickens. To be honest, it didn't really click with me. But apart from that, as I said, I really liked every song on here.
No, yeah, it was an enjoyable album. It was one of them albums where, for me, there was no song I immediately went, like this is considerably less quality than
same. I know I just pointed that out as one I wasn't a fan of, but it's not like I was like, the fuck is this? It was still like, oh, this is a solid Future song. It was just like I was really loving this album, and but I mean, I like when Future just focuses, because like we said before, Future makes so much music. Sometimes it's like, hey, here's all of this, and you can be a bit like there's no cohesion or whatever. But I thought this was just like, here's a bunch of songs I worked on that similar enough vibe that they fit together and just make a great album.
No, definitely. No, super enjoyable.
Yeah. Apart from that, I don't have too much to say about it other than just I thought it was great.
Like I said, like I wasn't going into it expecting like genre defining album. Like I don't ever
I mean,
really
this
have
is
that
like
with Future.
his 10th fucking out, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is we're deep into Future's discography at this point. I'm not really looking for, he's had his classics sort of thing. I'm just looking for solid,
just consistency.
Yeah, where it feels like he put in effort, and this, like, as I said, I really enjoyed.
Yeah. No, yeah, same as you. Really, I don't have tons and tons to say about the album, but like I said, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good album.
Singles great.
Yeah.
Basically. Then, do you want to jump into Kendrick straight away, or do you want to talk about some of the more recent? Because obviously we've got Brent recently.
I haven't heard Brent's album.
Oh, you haven't heard Brent's album? No. Nevermind then.
Shocking.
Poor from you.
Yeah. I need to hear that.
Have you heard Burner Boys? Because I've only heard half of it. No. Have you heard the song with Huss though?
Yeah,
that's a banger. I was gonna say, I just had to chat. I was like, tell me you've at least heard that.
That's what I needed.
Yeah,
that is required.
I mean, as we've been saying, Huss just needs to drop something.
It's summer, man.
Yeah,
like we need a Huss album for the summer, especially with this weather.
The heat wave is out.
Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, do you wanna? Who else dropped?
Obviously, we had Post drop.
I've only heard the one song, apart from the singles.
Yeah, I mean, you're not missing much.
I was gonna say, you kind of warned me off it. Do you want to like just give your kind of thoughts briefly? I guess.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Post, he's been going in this direction. Like, it's since Beer Bongs, it's kind of been like each album's been like
poppier.
Yeah, but like, and that isn't necessarily an issue, but the quality is also dropped.
Yeah, that's the. I mean, it's the difference between like, The Weeknd gets poppier with every album, more or less.
But then, arguably,
but it's like the quality keeps.
Yeah, it's more polished.
Yeah, whereas I don't know,
and inspired. Like The Weeknd, he isn't just going pop.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like an idea of pop where it's like 80s inspired.
Yeah. There's more of a vision to it.
Yeah. Whereas Pose is like
sort of like
let me chase a bag.
Yeah. Which is a shame because I really like that song with Roddy Ricch that he released. you know, it's not like the best Post Malone song ever, but I
mean,
thought
it's
it
a
was,
good track.
you know, it restored the feeling a bit. I was like, okay, I didn't really fuck with the last album. This kind of got me,
Yeah.
you know. I think when Post works with more hip-hop artists, it brings out better sides of him normally. Whereas when I heard of this album, I was like, whoa, I don't know. Like, Doja, like, I heard that song and I heard the intro, and I'm like, how did him and Doja Cat should make an absolute banger.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we compared them to each other already, where they're both kind of, she's a bit more of a rapper than he is, but they're both very hip-hop influenced, but kind of exist between genres a bit.
They kind of blur the line.
Yeah.
Well, Post did.
Yeah.
I don't know about now. It's just...
And so it's like, but I don't know, she just like annihilated him on that song. When I heard it, I was like, oh, yeah. I really hope they were going to go back and forth a bit more and like just do more. Like, I don't know, I was just, Post felt a bit sleepy.
And that's kind of like the whole album.
Yeah,
it feels like he's kind of phoning it in a little bit. Like, like some of the songs he's trying to get deep about, like his issues with alcohol and that, but it just came off as, to me, it just came off as a bit shallow, where like he's not really committing to any one idea or sound.
I get what you mean. Like, it's sort of like, and now we have our deep song, and then we have this, you know, it feels very for the streaming numbers sort of thing.
And like when you hear like Beer Bongs, that was like, that was a combination of sounds, but they all were like so inspired. Yeah. And the quality of Beer Bongs, every song was like banger.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and just they were good music, like just super listenable, super fun. You know, there was a good mix. I mean, fucking, he managed to make Better Now, which is by all accounts a sad song, something you can like vibe to.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like every song that's sad you need to vibe to, but just like, I don't know, I felt like he was, like you said, a bit more inspired. Whereas this sort of feels like, I've made some of the biggest songs in the world at the moment. I have so many listeners. What do I do? Oh, I guess I'll collab with these people. It felt like he just handpicked who's hot, like Doja Cat, Weeknd, Roddy Ricch. Yeah, like let's make an easy hit. Yeah, definitely. And it's a shame because like, I mean, I like that Weeknd song more than you do, but like they should have made more and higher quality music. And that's why I don't like it, because what you said, him and Doja should have made a banger. For me, it's him and Weeknd. Oh, absolutely. They should be making like, come on, you know, Post Malone and The Weeknd. Yeah, like if you said that to me, the amount of cocaine in the air when that gets made should have been insane. But that felt to me like generic pop. Like it's just like, yeah, I agree. Generic hook. Like, Weeknd, he was okay, but it just felt like it was just it didn't feel like there was chemistry. Yeah, I get. As I said, I get what you mean. It sort of feels like Weeknd had a song and Post was like, yo, let me chuck a verse on this. Yeah. Which is weird because it feels like that on his whole album. Like, I get music's a collaborative process. Some songs work like that, where it's like, yo, take this verse, and then it's like, oh, can I have that for my album? Yeah, sure, it don't fit on mine. Yeah. But like, why does every collab I've heard feel like that, where it feels like he went to an artist and said, let me chuck a verse on this and put it on my album? Yeah. And where he's as big or just as big as a lot of these artists, they're going to say, oh yeah, sure. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll take a Post Malone. I was going to say, bump in streaming numbers. Yeah, it can't hurt them either, because Post is big enough to stand his own. Well, and especially where these are good verses from those people a lot of the time. Whereas, and then it's Post on his own album that sort of let me down, from what I've heard. Yeah. As I said, I haven't heard the whole thing, but you kind of warned me off it, and what I heard just didn't really click with me. Yeah, I don't know, Posty, I know he gets a lot of criticism. He's never been someone to like come in, and he's always been very inspired, and he's always like taken a sound and kind of, there's been a vision. Yeah. But it's just with this, these last two albums just haven't felt that way. Yeah. Really. Yeah. When for me, like his first two albums, they were like full of energy. Yeah, like, yeah. I mean, I really like Beer Bongs. Stoney, I like a lot of the songs, but I think it's a bit weaker. But even that, I'm like, there's just such a clear vision to that project that just doesn't exist recently. Well, like he was clearly inspired by something. Like with Stoney, he's like, obviously when he first came about, he was clearly inspired by hip hop. Yeah, and he wanted to make an album. Well, and he sort of fused it with like soft rock and country and stuff. Like,
and same with beer bongs.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like,
and
arguably
that had a poppier edge to it. You know what I mean? It was sort of that. Whereas since then, I don't know what a Post Malone song sounds like anymore.
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's just like generic.
Yeah,
he doesn't have
H&M music.
Yeah, he doesn't have like a signature thing now. It's just like, I don't know. Hollywood's Bleeding was like, let me try and make it even more rock like inspired.
Yeah. You know,
even then,
Ozzy Osbourne on there, and that's the thing. When I think of that album, I don't even think of like rock, particularly outside of that one song with Travis and Ozzy.
Yeah,
I don't like. I forget something like, I'll be like, oh yeah, him and SZA made a song, and that's one of my favorite songs on that album. But even my favorite songs on that, I just forget they exist. I'm like, oh yeah, this song, and like, I don't know, it just feels very sort of paint by numbers, like, oh, I need this song with this person, and then I'm gonna check this person on there, and it just, as I said, I haven't heard all the new albums, so I can't really speak to that, but what I heard of it was enough for me to go like, oh, it's this again. Yeah,
I mean, and no one's really, it kind of came and went. No one's really talking about it either. And like the other thing you have to look at is, I don't know, when Post dropped an album before, like, let's be honest, he would like rule the charts for like a good few months. Like, Beer Bongs was everywhere. Beer
Bongs got, where I was talking about Better Now, that got played in clubs, but like, which like it shouldn't have. But just because it was so big, everyone was like, yeah, chuck this on, people are gonna vibe.
But you had like that Psycho, just
Circle. Oh wait, was Circle's
Circles
the next
was
album?
Hollywood's in it, but
yeah.
You had that.
But I mean, even that album, which neither of us like as much, like Goodbyes,
it had hits,
like it did have. Whereas, like you said,
Rockstar as well.
Yeah,
like Beer Bongs like ruled the charts when it dropped.
I ain't even seen her face, but she got beautiful. Spoil My Night.
Spoil My Night.
That, like, there's so many on there where it's just like.
And like, because I remember when we talked about Hollywood's Bleeding before in a conversation we had, we both agreed it weren't as strong, but he still like ruled the charts with it. Like you said, he had Circles, Goodbyes.
It's sort of more akin to like a Starboy quality, where it's like there's the hits on there. Oh yeah, hits. Yeah. But I don't think it's as good as Starboy. I'll say that, but that sort of vibe where it's like, oh yeah, hit, like, or a sort of like Scorpion, that sort of vibe where it's like, oh man, like, In My Feelings, what a banger. But then you're like, oh yeah, the album, God, it's maybe a bit weaker. Yeah. It's sort of that style of album. Whereas this new one, like, I don't know, it's just like, what is it? I don't know. What's the banger?
Yeah, I feel for Posty a bit because he gets so much criticism for something other artists do, and like they don't get nearly as much criticism.
Definitely.
For it. I get it, like when he came around, because he came with like, the braids and the grills and that. Yeah. He was asking for it a little bit, but like I thought he made good music.
I was gonna say, at the end of the day, if the music's good, the music's good, and it just hasn't been recently with him.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't really have much else to say.
I was gonna say, I haven't heard it, so I can't really comment outside of the 3 or 4 songs I have heard.
Yeah.
So who next?
So we post the Future. So obviously, did anyone else drop before we go on to Kendrick?
I don't know. Did you listen to GIVEON's album?
I haven't. No, not yet.
It's a good album, I'll say.
Yeah.
I don't. The thing is, his last album's cheating because it's like 3 projects put together. But I don't think it's not got hits like that. But I just think GIVEON's very consistent. Where I go in there, I know what a GIVEON song is going to sound like, and he just does it well.
Very distinct. Yeah, very distinct voice.
I was going to say, and obviously, if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't. At the end of the day, and I'm one of the people I really fuck with it. I think he's looking at a podium position for Toxic King of the Year. It's him, Brent, and Future fighting it out. But he put in a good showing at the Toxic Olympics. I gotta give him that.
New PB for him.
Who else dropped? I mean, I don't think outside of Drake and Kendrick, I don't think.
Oh, we haven't. Of course, we haven't talked about Drake's album on the pod.
Yeah, I mean, I figured we'd have. A bit like Kendrick, we might have more to say there. SZA did the
deluxe.
The deluxe. Obviously, most of the songs have already been out in the world, but
yes, but now on streaming.
it's good to get more than one SZA song drip fed to us every year.
She is due, way overdue.
Way overdue.
No, so I guess if we do Kendrick then Drake.
Kendrick then Drake, sure.
So what did you think of Mr. Morale?
A
big steppers.
Why have I got to start this? I didn't fuck with it personally.
Okay.
You'll go? I don't know. I don't really have a lot to.
It's a weird one, yeah.
Yeah, like
when it dropped, I was like, I don't know. Then like a week into it, I was like, this is great.
Oh, you're on board with it.
But now I'm a bit more leaning towards it's alright.
You've gone on like a roller coaster journey with this album.
Because when it dropped, I was like, I don't know about this one. And then like I gave it a few more listens. I was like, you know what, this is quite good. And at one point I was like, you know what, I think I prefer this to Damn. But now I'm not too sure.
I was going to say, I remember you said, I think it might be better than Damn. But the thing with Kendrick doesn't make bad music at the end of the day. No. When we're talking about this album, I don't want people to think I'm saying like Kendrick is shit or anything stupid like that. Like he's a very talented artist and he had a vision here. You know, this isn't a Post Malone situation where we're talking about like I don't know what the vision was like.
He's held to a higher standard.
Yeah, at the end of the day, and the wait. Like if you keep people waiting this long, you're gonna be held to like a certain standard. Like if Frank Ocean drops,
and it's just good.
If Rihanna drops, you know, whoever you want to pick, someone that doesn't drop regularly, if all of a sudden they drop, you're going to hold it to a certain standard.
And I think that's fair. Because for me, I know this isn't always the case. Like, there's many reasons why artists don't drop music. But for me, it's like, if you're not dropping music for like 3 or 4 years, it's because you're like waiting for something good enough to get you inspired.
Exactly.
Which is like what Kendrick has been saying about this.
Yeah, of course.
He said in a quote, like, he just had nothing to write.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
So I think it's fair to hold him to stand. Yeah.
I don't know. I appreciate the idea of like, you know, Pimp a Butterfly was about society and culture and all sorts of things. And this is a much more internalized look at Kendrick as a person. This is easily his most personal album. Easily. Like, not even close.
Yeah.
But, like, there's a lot of weird choices on this album.
The thing that disappointed me is, Kendrick fans were trying to lie to themselves, but let's be real. Kendrick albums always have bangers.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, like, okay, even to Pimp a Butterfly had bangers.
King Kunta.
Fucking Alright.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forget Alright's even on that. Like, that's such a big song.
And that's a massive song. That's like one of... And you can't tell me
and it's about stuff. You can't even argue like, oh, Kendrick's bangers are... He's got to strip it back. He's got to not make it about anything. You know what I mean? Like, Alright is literally about like police violence at the end of the day. You know? So I don't really get the argument I've seen some people make where it's like, well, this is such a deep personal album. How could any of them catch on? And it's like, for me, the first half, I was confused because I was like, oh, these sound like he's chasing a banger.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Because it's like, that argument is fair, but half of these songs are trying to be bangers, but they just don't really hit.
I'm not being funny. If you have Blast on your album at the moment, you're trying to get a banger out of it because he makes a very specific sound and it charts well and it plays well in clubs while not being too like obvious that you're going for a club banger. So if you put him on here, I'm gonna look at you and go, oh, okay, so here's you know, but Burna Boy has him on his album, same thing where I'm like, oh, okay, here's the one he wants to play in this environment. Like that, it's just, I don't know, like I it feels very split in that sense, which I'm sure someone's going to come in and argue like, oh, well, the reason it's such a divide is whatever you want to say. Cool, fair enough. Well, it just makes for a weird listening experience.
This is my thing, because it's like, don't get me wrong, I love Kendrick, but he gets a lot more leeway than someone like J. Cole gets.
Yeah.
Whereas like there's so many Kendrick fans that are defending it and giving, oh, this is the reason why it doesn't have this. This is the reason why you don't like it. Whereas like J. Cole, when J. Cole dropped, people just like, yeah, mid. Like,
yeah.
Like, they don't even give it.
What amazes me is like the amounts of copium Kendrick fans were inhaling. Like, this was clearly received mixed. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that reflected in the sales. Like, I'm not being funny. The fact this didn't outsell Cole's last album blew my mind.
Yeah.
Or it did by like 5,000 units.
But
or whatever.
not to the extent you would think after like a
Cole
5 year
does
wait.
drop regularly. Like, okay, not every 6 months or whatever, but he drops like a year and a half within each other.
We've got what? 3 Cole projects? KOD
Possibly.
was after Damn.
Definitely.
KOD.
Or it was maybe just before or just after. I'm not sure.
I think it was after.
I think it was, though.
But we got KOD off season and kind of Gene, but the Dreamville project.
Well, we've got 2 of those, don't forget.
Yeah. So 3-4 projects really. We've got
Yeah.
Cole in the time that Kendrick hasn't dropped. So like, well, if you count Black Panther, then
Yeah, okay.
Then.
But I don't know. But Cole also features a lot more. Like, I don't know. He's out there so much more. I feel like it's harder to miss Cole than it was to miss Kendrick. So the fact they were neck and neck for sales like that kind of blew my mind. And I'm not saying like if you like an album because it sold less than another album that matters. I'm just saying I think that's a clear indication that this was received polarizingly.
Oh yeah. Like, everyone thought Kendrick would like sell 600k, 700k.
Yeah, like he should have, like the fact he didn't outsell like Drake.
Yeah.
Which I know is a cheat, but I would argue disappearing for 5 years is a cheat as well. Like automatically people are going to tune in just to hear it. Everyone's going to go,
It should have sold more. No matter what way you look at it. It could have been the best, deepest album. It should have sold more.
So as I said, I'm just sort of using that to show that like clearly this was received mixedly.
Yeah. No, it was. I think it definitely was. Like,
and are people still talking about this album? Like, I don't know. I'm not really tuned in. Obviously, I'm sure Kendrick fans are. Obviously, whenever any artist drops, their fans are going to be talking about the album. But
remember when Damn dropped? Like, and I know Damn is like a really accessible album. And
but even then, there are
talking
deep
about that.
songs on there.
There are, but like I'm saying, like
for Kendrick's discography,
and Damn was talked about for a while. Like, Damn was about for a while.
Yeah, it was talked about for 5 years.
But the life cycle of that album, just within the first year, like, it was massive.
Yeah. And
I know, like, sales, streams ain't everything, but
yeah, of course.
It's just on like a influence in hip hop. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the album. I
like some of.
I
need to give it another listen.
I'm still conflicted because, like I said,
I remember you was conflicted.
Yeah, misuse of your influence. I went from thinking it was not that great to thinking it was great, and now I'm just in between.
I would say I'm still in the former, but I need to listen. I need to give it a full listen for again because the songs I've liked, I've revisited.
It's just,
but there's a lot of this album I haven't, and I don't know what he was going for. And
like, we can't delude ourselves because Good Kid, Mad City is like flawless. That's like one of the best hip hop albums.
You know, it's one of those like 5 hip hop albums. If someone goes, "Oh man, I really want to get into hip hop, what should I listen to?" You go, "Oh, for the last like 10, 20 years, you're gonna go, oh."
And then you got Pimp a Butterfly, which is like, come on.
They're the like poster child of like experimental woke, you know, societal conscious rap.
And then you have Damn, which is his biggest
hitter,
biggest album. You know, most well received chart wise, sales wise.
The album that made Kendrick like a household name.
Like, they all have something.
It took him from like a big hip hop artist to just a big worldwide known artist.
Like, And that's what I mean. You got like, and then this. What does this bring to the table when you look at it like that? Like,
yeah, that's the thing. When you talk about it like that, like I really don't have an answer.
And Kendrick fans, like we've said, they're trying to use, well, not all of them, but they're trying to say, because he's trying to go for this personal route, which he is, but then half of the songs are trying to chase like that magic, like a banger.
He's got Summer Walker on here at the end of the day. Like I don't really agree with that argument.
And he's got like Baby Keem, who like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, we knew Baby Keem was going to be on the album because they're related in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I said the songs on here I like. I do think are really good. Obviously, N95, Rich Spirit, like the hitters on here that I enjoy. I do really enjoy.
And N95, like, I'll give it credit. That is a banger. Right.
But yeah, I don't know. The Blast feature, I'm kind of over Blast. Like when I hear him now, I just think he sounds the same on everything, which is like he's not like a Giveon where he sounds so unique, even though he sounds very similar on every song. I don't mind because I'm not hearing that anywhere else. Blast, like I can name you like 4 other people that sound very similar, and don't sound the same on every song.
Yeah.
Like, I can't really say if you swapped him for, like, a Bryson or someone, I would complain at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't know. And even with the Summer Walker feature, like, again, it's one of them features where you're like, Kendrick Lamar and Summer Walker, that should be...
Yeah.
Like, that should be...
You know, it should be like him and SZA. When they collab, they make fucking bangers, but...
And you have Ghostface Killer on that song.
Yeah,
so, like, and then you got the Kodak Black feature.
Why is Kodak Black all over this album? I don't know. It makes it hard. It's one of them things where this album's asking you to think deeply, and then you do a thing like that, and it's like, okay, well, if you want me to think deeply, I'm gonna have some critical things to say about you having a convicted rapist all over your album,
which is fair. Yeah, it's fair.
All over it. And especially when, you know, Kendrick's performing and he says like Godspeed women's rights, it's like, bro like
it just comes off as a bit like ignorant, where like where I imagine him like at night putting pen to paper, like, Kodak Black, wow, he's on my album. But shit, I didn't even put two and two together.
That's the thing. And it's like, I get the people are. This whole thing is about flaws and like accepting your flaws and like stuff like that. But it's like, but a rapist is maybe a bridge too far to compare yourself to. I think, you know what I mean? Like, I get saying like, I see myself in this person. I see how my life could have gone this way. But why is it with a convicted rape? Like, not someone accused of things. There is no grey area here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Kodak, like, I don't know. And I know he was on the Future album and we didn't talk about him there, but like, I mean, whenever I see Kodak Black, I don't listen because of that fact. But at the end of the day, Future's music is not making me think deeply in the same way like this, and trying to be about so much about men and women and their interactions.
There's a lot of sensitive topics on the album.
Yeah,
that it's talking about,
and it doesn't address that. That's the thing. If somehow, I don't know how, and I don't think it'd be possible, but if somehow it was addressed a bit more, maybe I would have less of an issue. But it's the fact he's there, and it's like, are you just putting him there as a statement, or are you just putting him there and think like, oh, it's fine? Which in itself is a statement that's just as bad. You know what I mean? It's one of them things where I'm just like, why? And as I said, he's all over this album. Like, it's not one song.
And I don't know why, though. Like, I mean, I can't claim to be like a Kodak Black fan, because I'm not. But I don't know what he like brings.
Genuinely, I know
Kendrick.
the fans of Kodak Black really ride for him, but outside of ZZ, I've never clicked with a Kodak Black song. I mean, his biggest song People prefer the Cardi B version. Like, I'm not being funny. Like, I don't know. I've just never got the appeal in the first place before all of this.
No, and you're Kendrick Lamar. It's like, I'm sorry, but you can do better than
Kendrick. At the end of the day.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of them albums where you need to come back to it like 6 months.
Yeah.
See how you feel about it then. Because right now, like I said, I'm still conflicted.
Same.
Like there's a good project in here. I just don't know, number one, how highly I rate it. And whether it, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
it still needs time for me.
I am a bit more negative on it than you. I don't think it's a shit album or anything. Like, I don't. You kind of like summed it up perfectly when you were talking through his discography and you talked about what each one brought. I just don't know what this one brings. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I guess now I know his ancestors were looking at him funny while he was having sex with white women. I can honestly say I did not know that prior to this album's release.
Oh, I feel enlightened.
Truly. Yeah. Do you want to move on, or do you have a bit more?
Again, it's a weird one. I think that's what I have to say about it for now. We'll come back to that.
I'm sure, like at the end of the year, we'll do like a best projects or whatever. And I'm not saying this will make the list, but we'll definitely talk about it again in terms of why it did or didn't
hit, or whether it did. I don't know. Like I said, I think we just need, me personally at least, I need to give it more time. It's one of them albums where you don't listen to it for a few months. You go back and listen to it, and you either have like a revelation, like, oh, this fucking slapped, or you're like, this wasn't really. So we'll see,
and maybe it'll be a bit clearer with hindsight why like it did or didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, and definitely, even if you like it, you'll be like, oh, this is why it didn't work for me at the time, and why it works now, sort of thing.
Just on a quick side note, like I know I briefly mentioned like the Cole thing, but do you prefer this or the off season? Like right now, I know like we just had a whole thing where like we need to give it time. But
check the off seasons track list. I don't know, because I didn't really fuck with that album. Maybe the off season. Maybe there's like.
I think you should give the off season another chance.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. I think it's.
I mean, every song on there I think is at least fine.
Yeah.
It's just Cole, like Kendrick, I hold him to such a high standard. It pisses me off when he's fine. I would definitely rather listen to the off season because there's no songs I want to skip. Whereas I can't say that at the moment about Mr. Morale.
We cried together.
Auntie Diaries. Yeah.
I think the off season, I prefer it right now. Like I said about going back to Mr. Morale, but
obviously we've had longer with off season.
Which that is a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that at the moment.
Yeah. But yeah. Kendrick, I wonder where he goes now though, because obviously back
He's
to
off,
back.
Thingy, obviously, TDE.
Yeah. But it's just back to back with Damn and Black Panther. He like reached the peak of like mainstream media fans. Like he was literally, he made the soundtrack to like one of the biggest Marvel films. And there was such a huge
which
moment
therefore
for him.
means one of the biggest movies ever.
Yeah. And like that's such a big thing for him as an artist. And obviously coming off back to back with Damn, which was his, most popular album sales wise, streams wise. And then he's kind of stripped it back, and like it is a more personal approach. So I wonder where he goes from here. Like,
yeah, definitely. I mean, either way, Kendrick's one of them artists where I'll always check for him.
Yeah,
like a Cole, even with Cole, where I haven't liked his last like 2-3 projects, I still check for Cole releases. At the end of the day, like he could release 20 bad albums, and I'll still check to see like, oh, what's this one saying?
And the one thing about Cole is his features are always good.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like, you're always guaranteed if you see featuring J. Cole, you're gonna have like a half decent time.
Genuinely,
And
I've
like-
never heard a Cole feature and been like, oh man, he really phoned this one in.
Yeah.
Like,
Whereas like Kendrick, we just don't get the features.
yeah, we
to
don't
have
we,
that.
we don't get the music, we don't get anything.
Yeah.
So
I just hope it's not another 5-year wait.
But I mean, he's off TDE now, so maybe he will be more.
I wonder what that means though. Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean for his music?
I mean,
Like, does it mean more freedom? Like, I don't know.
I think so. TDE, I don't know the label obviously, but from what I've seen, seem very controlling over their artists.
Yeah.
I've seen SZA talk a lot about I want to drop music and can't, and it's like, why on earth should someone as big as SZA, like one of the biggest R&B artists we have at the moment, ever not be able to drop music?
If
I'm
SZA,
not being funny.
like, with one album, she's like in that top bracket.
Yeah.
If SZA dropped consistently, she would be the biggest R&B like artist of this generation. Like, she's massive off of
100%.
Control.
I mean, she just highlighted Headlined Wireless yesterday.
Yeah,
You
and
know
like,
what I mean?
like off of that one song snippet on TikTok. Like,
I'm not being
she
funny.
went-
Like, Summer Walker, I think is only as big as she is because SZA hasn't been around. Because
No,
they're
but
so similar
genuinely,
stylistically.
if SZA dropped, I don't think anyone would like hold a candle to her. Like,
Yeah.
because Control is massive.
Yeah.
And, like, that's it. It's like I know people are like grill me for this, but it's like kind of similar to the Lauryn Hill thing, where like she had one album, but like if she dropped,
Yeah, 100%.
no one could really
Yeah.
step to her. So it's like,
I think you're like dead on there, where it is like, and I have that with all of TDE, to be honest, where it's like, why they should, when we were talking about labels before, they should have the best label.
yeah,
It's like there seems to be such weird politics and everything going on there.
yeah. And it's interesting that so many of their artists don't drop consistently.
Yeah.
And like, so it does make sense that there must be someone controlling that.
Yeah,
within the
and
label, so.
Kendrick seemed so desperate to get off that label.
Hmm.
I don't know. It is interesting where you're like, what? Why? There must be a reason. And as I said, anytime I see SZA tweet about I want to drop music, but I can't, I'm like, what earthly reason is there ever for SZA not to? Oh, we're oversaturating the SZA market at the moment,
Genuinely.
man. We
Like-
dropped one song in 8 months. Whoa.
And anything she touches, like, is just a hit. Anything she's featured
I'm
on.
not being like every single recent SZA release has been huge. Like, obviously, I Hate You was a hit, despite not existing.
And that's
originally.
clearly like just like a throwaway song
Yeah.
for her, and it still
But,
was
like,
like massive.
Good Days and Hit Different. Those were
Yeah.
like massive.
Like it's Good Days. Like, come on, like social media had a meltdown.
Yeah,
everyone loved that song.
Everyone captioned it. Everything.
Mm.
And like even these deluxe songs have all been out, and so now obviously we can listen to them, so it's not quite the same where they're going to be a hit or anything, but just the fact she can do that and still have people tune. There's only certain artists that can go, hey, here's a bunch of songs I know you already have downloaded,
Yeah,
but here they are officially, so you can get to them easily. There you go.
Yeah.
And still, like, you know, like obviously Drake did it with Care Package, Party
Bryson.
with Party Pack, you're bright. Like there are only certain types of artists that can get away with that and have people go, oh yeah.
No, and it's super smart from her as well. Like, because obviously it brought like a whole new group
Yeah.
to control. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And it gets you to go, oh man, I haven't heard Control in ages.
yeah,
You know what? Let me put on, hear these new songs, hear these old ones. Like you said, a bit like Lauryn Hill, where it's like, even if you only have that one project, like that's all you need.
it's just now.
It's weird because she does seem to want to drop music.
Yeah, and she's because don't get me wrong, like we said, when she drops, it's massive, but she's still missing out on, like, there's a lot of potential there for
100%.
her if she did drop consistently.
Yeah,
And
that's
it doesn't mean
as I
that-
said. Like, just look at Summer Walker.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? She drops consistently.
and she's
And-
massive.
yeah.
and like her music is good. Like, I'm not.
Yeah,
saying
like
that, but
I'm not slagging off Summer Walker.
Yeah.
When I'm just saying, like,
It's not like.
it's one of them artists where I'm like, she saw she was making her music and her label and that clearly saw that the lane was empty.
Yeah.
When it shouldn't have been.
And they capitalised on it.
And so, yeah, that's absolutely... I mean, there's a reason one of her biggest songs on her new album has SZA on it. Because they do just make such, similar sounding music topically and stylistically that they just fit.
And I'm sorry, but SZA, like, vocally, she washes. So,
yeah.
So, like...
I was going to say, and just, I think, quality-wise. Like, I like Summer a lot, but I don't know. I didn't really fuck with that last album, I'll be honest. But I think, at the end of the day, nothing she has is touching Control. Which I know people really like over it. Like, they really fuck with that album.
Yeah. And like,
that's easily
for
the
good
biggest...
reason.
Yeah, like, it's a good album.
Yeah.
Like, and it's easily the biggest female R&B album since Control.
Yeah.
Like, I can't... There's other albums I prefer, but that album is fucking everywhere.
It's massive.
Like
massive.
We were talking about with
so
Control.
Many hits.
Like, if Summer Walker had done the same thing and just fucked off and just ghosted for 4 years or whatever, that album would still be, you're still going to hear the one with Usher and all the bangers off that album. So, yeah, I think... LVRN in general are a very good label, I think, at pushing their artists with... Obviously, they have Summer Walker, so they have Black.
Yeah.
The way they... same thing with Black, where Bryson and Party and that weren't really dropping. I think Black was able to come in and cement himself very strongly without sort of like... Oh, he's just another fucking trap soul
Which is weird, because now he's left that gap open.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because he doesn't drop. But, like, the thing with Black is a very similar thing to those artists. If we were left with Free Black and East Atlanta Love Letter, you'd be like, yeah, like, fair enough.
I was going to say, like, those are still fucking classic albums. And, like, I think the good thing about Black is between those two albums, there's such a different sound. I trust that he's just gone to find the next inspiration sonically.
Yeah. Which is fair enough, because, like you say, the first two albums... It's not like they're polar opposites, but there's clearly a difference in sound.
Definitely.
It's
and he still does do features and stuff. And
although he is like, come on.
Yeah, he's due. I'm not defending him. Like you said, we need that. Like,
we need that.
But it's kind of why I'm excited that Division are sort of under LVRN's management now, because I'm like, I think they will know how to push Division to get them that. They already have a niche, but really capitalize on it. Whereas being on OVO, I think they just, like, at the end of the day, they're signed to Drake. Like, they're always going to be...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Drake's artist. Whereas I hope LVRN will be able to push them and really get them the kind of audience that I think Division should have.
No, definitely. Like, R&B's had, like, a resurgence in, like, recent years. And they are, like... pure R&B.
Yeah, exactly.
When you look to like old school R&B, like Division, they are like heavily inspired by that.
Yeah, literally, Jermaine Dupri's like executive producing the new album. Like, at the end of the day, like, and like vocally, like, Division wash most of these other artists.
Yeah.
Or Daniel specifically, should I say, before the fucking people come in and be like, Division is a producer and a singer, so I think you mean the singer. But yeah,
but like they make like classic R&B music.
Yeah, exactly.
With like
a modern twist on.
Whereas like the other artists we mentioned, it's more of a merge.
Yeah,
like
it's that trap soul sound, isn't it? Where it's sort of a bit of rap.
2016 onwards.
Yeah.
Lane.
Just need a Party to drop.
Yeah. Party's another one, man. The potential that he had, he could have gone anywhere. But like, I get that he produces for a lot of artists and that. But
yeah, and like, I think he clearly has a level of like, he doesn't want I don't want it. Yeah. He doesn't want the main, like, the fact he wrote work and gave it to someone else kind of shows you that like he's like, nah, I'm happy being me. Here's a hit.
And that's true, but then it's just when you look at Partymobile, it felt like he was trying to chase a banger.
Yeah,
like, with like Loyal
definitely.
and Believe It. it's
Yeah.
I don't know with Party. Like,
I think he's in a weird place because obviously he's written some of the biggest songs in the last. Well, all you need is work. He's written the biggest song in like the past decade. Realistically, like Work is one of those songs. Every time you go out, you're gonna hear Work.
yeah,
Like wherever you are, you're probably gonna hear it. Or you're going to be in the vicinity of someone who's heard it within the last 2 hours. Like, it's just one of those songs.
And like he's worked on some of Drake's biggest and
Yeah.
best songs, like musically. It's just
And I imagine there's part of him that's like, I should have some of that. And, you know, people, you know, the haters on Twitter or whatever are always like, oh, he's just Drake's writer. Da, 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 da.
the thing with Party is he will always have P1, 2, and 3, which like
Exactly.
that's all you need in an argument to be like, no, but he is talented. He like in that era where like Weeknd blew up with like a new sound, he did the same thing.
Yeah.
So like you can't really.
That's the thing.
Really
he's like Bryson, where it's like they're big, but it's like because they don't really drop and they seem very
in themselves.
Yeah,
they're not
as big as they should be. Whereas if they just kept like, he's like a Brent. You know, I mean, Brent drops very regularly,
he's
and
like,
so he's always
genuinely he was like the Brent of like 2011.
Yeah.
12, where it's like, you know, there's a following there, and with each tape he's getting bigger, but like where Weeknd kept getting bigger and then shifted into pop, he's kind of took a back seat. It's like, I'm still gonna make my music, but like I'm gonna write for others.
And I'm just not gonna release music.
Yeah. And when I do it, like I'm gonna have one that's a bit more experimental, and then, you know, a merge of like his old sound and blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think also where a lot of people kind of bit Party's sound, his OG sound. I think he kind of turned on it and was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, which like you can't blame him.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of artists have done the same thing.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to ever force it.
Mm.
I mean, even Weeknd.
I was gonna say, I know we keep making the comparison, but Weeknd did the same thing. So, like, and you can understand why. If you like ushered in a sound and then all of a sudden everyone was doing that sound, you'd be like, well, let me try find the new thing for people to chase.
Well, and especially when you find such like Work. Like as an example, like that shows you can dip into a totally different sound. Work does prior to P3. Work sounds like no Partynextdoor song, like realistically, and so the fact you can like dip into that, it shows you like, oh yeah, like I can do it. Yeah. It's not like I'm just this one style of music. So yeah, I don't know. With Party, I hope he just drops music at the end of the day, man. Like Partymobile was kind of mid. So I enjoy that album, but he can do better. So I would like him to sort of come back, work with some of the newer R&B like GIVEON, Brent. I want to hear him with that type of sound.
See, I think Partymobile is like a good starting point for like a new Party.
But I would agree if he kept releasing music, but he's just gone ghost again.
That's fair. But like, I know you don't have like the strongest opinion on it, but like I do like it.
I like Partymobile. I think it's the way people talk about P3. That's how I feel about Partymobile. Where a lot of people are quite critical of P3. They agree it has the bangers, but like overall as an album, they're a bit iffy on it. That's kind of me with Partymobile, where I'm like, yeah, there's the songs on there I really like, and then just kind of meh on the others.
It's just
like you said, I think he was torn between like, I want to get back to my old sound, but I also want to like chase
a hit,
and I think that kind of compromised it. Where it's not a very long album. Which is the opposite of P3, where P3 is a long album. Nice. And so Partymobile just sort of feels like I'm Partynextdoor, I can do all these sounds, pick from it what you like.
Yeah.
Peace.
Which is weird because P3 in many ways is doing the same thing. Where like, it's, you know, I'm Partynextdoor, I'm versatile. Like, yeah, I made this sound, but here, have 10 other sounds, which I'm now ushering because like, at the time, what's the song that I'm thinking of?
From what, P3?
Yeah, the
Not Nice?
Not Nice, yeah. Like, at the time, Like Not Nice was one of the songs that like ushered in that dancehall inspired sound, like that.
Definitely.
Inspired sounds. So it's just like yeah, I feel like he's always been doing that in recent music.
Yeah, definitely. But I think the thing about P3 is it has more room to breathe. Where you're like, oh, here's a couple of songs in this sound, here's a couple of songs in this. Whereas Partymobile felt a bit more song to song to song. Like, yo, what are we doing here? A bit more to me.
Yeah, I agree.
And I just think most of the songs aren't as good
as
at the end of the day. Yeah, like regardless of what genre or whatever they are,
like,
I just think they're not as high quality.
Like, I prefer P3 by far, but I think like for what Partymobile was, it was fun.
Yeah, I think Partymobile. Like, as I said, I like that he got back to his with songs like The News and Another Day. I like that he got back to like the classic.
Yeah, I like some of them songs are like top tier, like Moody part.
Oh, absolutely.
Like The News is
fucking banger. Yeah. As I said, Another Day. Like if you want to like chill, sexy banger, like for party, like. What a tune. You've got, what's that? Savage Anthem. Fucking hell. He was on one.
But that's like, you got like, some of them songs are like, arguably top tier party.
Oh,
like
yeah,
Moody
absolutely.
Party. Like,
yeah.
Sexual party.
The thing is like, or PGT, or...
Yeah.
The thing with Party is, Party's one of my favourite artists. So when we're talking about like, when I say mid, I mean mid for him. I think Partymobile's still going to wash a lot of these other artists like, oh yeah, that was a good album from them. When in reality, like, it was like a 6, 7 out of 10.
Yeah. It's the other thing is like, the album before, what was it, 7 Days?
Yeah, it was.
Which was like, for me, it was like let down. Like,
what do you mean? A letdown? 7 days.
Man.
Oh my day! What's the make you do it? Yeah.
Never Play Me.
Never Play Me.
Oh, that's a banger. I'll give it that. That and the one with
I was
Rick Ross
gonna say, come on, you can't.
Better Man. Better
Man. I think there's one more on there. I've got to give him one more. Probably not, but in my brain there's one more.
I haven't heard that mixtape.
Neither have I. I forgot it existed. I literally forgot it existed.
Where is it?
Nah,
Don't
the
say
right way.
Damage. Okay.
Boom, boom, boom.
If you're gonna say Damage, I'm gonna walk out.
Imagine, I'm like, no, Damage is a banger. Nah, the right way, the one where it's like kind of slow on a guitar, that's a banger.
You know what? Love Me Again ain't bad as well.
Love Me Again.
Maybe it's not that shit because it's only 7 songs.
I was gonna say the thing is, it's the Starboy effect because we were left with this album for like what, 3 years.
Yes.
You just like grew to resent it. Where you're like, what the fuck was this album?
Even Bad Intention, you know.
I like the only one I don't really fuck with is Damage, and even then I like Party's bit on it.
It just didn't.
We were better being best friends. Yeah, that's kind of a banger. 7 days, not that bad.
No, it ain't that bad.
We've come to a realization.
Like looking at the track list now, it's just for a while where, like you say, where we were stuck with it. That's all
Definitely.
we had. It was a bit like, I need more.
Well, and like Colours 2, he'd already changed his sound quite a lot, and so 7 days where he changed it even more. You're like, where are we going? I don't like this direction.
Yeah,
and so I think that's why Partymobile was sort of like him going like, nah, look, come on, you know I can do.
Yeah.
Stop playing with me. Yeah. You never played me.
And then Party Pack, just like
pure bangers.
Yeah. That's 7 songs as well.
Is it?
Yeah, Party Pack.
Yeah, Party Pack Wash. It's 7 days.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all you need is like the first like 4 songs.
So all you need is, Persian Rocks, West District. Done.
No, Things and Such. You gotta throw that in there. But even then, like, just like you said, done. It's over. It's a wrap. And that the thing about Party Pack is so much of it is like the Partynextdoor sound. Like when you think of Partynextdoor, you think of the vibe of like Persian Rugs or West District.
Yeah,
like that sort of, like you said, moody, sexy.
That, like 2011.
Yeah,
sound, Toronto sound.
Definitely.
I don't know. There's so many of these artists that just drop music.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, please.
Yeah.
But I mean, we do speak a lot of things into existence on this podcast, so. All I'm saying is we said Wizkid and Chris Brown would be at Wireless, and both of them
Sing
were.
Breezy.
Did you see fucking where the Birmingham Wireless is? It's in a fucking car park.
Is it? No,
I
didn't
thought
see.
people were joking when they said it, and then I saw a photo that Wireless put up, and I was like, that's a car park.
But like, when you say car park,
I mean, like, the concrete floor.
So you're moshing on concrete?
Bruv, I'll bring knee pads.
Nah, no.
Are you
yeah,
mad?
For real.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna have one of them fucking rugby helmets.
I was like, that feels like a fucking violation of like the Human Rights Act, doing a festival in a concrete car park.
All I'm saying is, if me goes for there, you're done. Like,
Bruv,
if you fall, like if you're in a mosh and you fall on a concrete
you're done.
floor,
You're done. It's over. It's a
you're
wrap.
finished. How are you telling me it's on concrete?
I saw it because, as I said, I thought people were joking.
But
when
is
they
that
said
the
it's in a
main
car park.
stage?
Yeah, because they put up a photo
I need to see this.
where they were like, "Can't wait for Wireless this weekend," and it was both venues.
I can't believe that.
And I was like, wait, because you can see the markings of where cars park, like the base.
What the fuck? That can't be safe. Like,
I was like, how is this legal?
oh my god, you're right.
As I said, they just have fucking a car park. Like, what?
Well, and that's what Chris Brown did.
No, that was WizKid. Chris
Wizkid,
Brown did Crystal Palace, didn't he? Yeah, look at that.
I'm sorry, that's shocking.
They went from having the best lineup to the worst location.
That's shocking.
Wireless, cut the shit. Just come back to Finsbury Park
This one I don't
solo.
care, mate. Did they even do Finsbury this year?
It's today, or was the last 2 days. Today's Nicki, innit? Because we got the all female lineup, isn't it? It was Cardi B, SZA, and Nicki.
Like, why not just like fuck off Palace and Birmingham? Because no one cares.
Genuinely.
Like, Wireless has always been like Finsbury Park. It's like it's the London Festival.
Genuinely.
And then you want to like start giving it to Brum. And if
Nah.
you like took them two out,
And WizKid is only doing Brum. That's
Why?
a
Why?
disgrace. I'm
You're telling
sorry.
me
You
Birmingham-
have WizKid.
the guy, like, how many days did he sell out at the O2?
Was it 6 in the end?
You're telling me Birmingham ride for WizKid more than London?
But hey, like, come on,
Mate,
man.
not with that accent. I don't want to hear it, no.
To our Birmingham listeners, fuck off. Aaron said he hates you. He hates your stupid voice. Never tune in again.
But imagine they
Oh
they
my
just
God.
one place, just Finsbury, but you had all the heavy hitters from the other two.
Yeah,
It would
yeah.
have been like the best year
Like,
for Wireless ever.
Dave and WizKid, like, why would they not?
Breezy in there, like,
This
shame.
disgraceful.
What a shame.
Genuinely, I was like pissed. I was like, the fuck is this?
But I wonder if this will be a thing now, because I get in my head is like, because we had COVID, this is like the comeback year. Like,
Yeah,
let's do 3
yeah.
venues and like have everyone. But I wonder like if they're gonna do this every year now, where like it's split. You know, the lineups
Probably.
are weaker individually, but like overall.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
the thing.
one.
Where I kept thinking, I was like, man, how didn't we see all these people? And I was like, oh yeah, because they were split over 2 weekends.
Yeah, like 3
across
different
2 venues.
halfway across the fucking country.
And I hated how they announced them. Where like some of them we only found out about like 4 weeks
It's
ago.
just a scam, innit?
And it's like,
buy
bro,
the tickets now, and then if you don't like the artist, you can get. Oh no, you can't get a refund.
yeah, I was gonna say you're fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, because in the end, I think Finsbury did have quite a strong lineup. But I was like, why didn't we get tickets? Then I was like, oh, because fucking 6 of these people weren't announced.
At the time, it was only the headliners that were announced, which were like, all right. Like, who were the headliners for Finsbury?
Cardi B, SZA, and Nicki.
Which like,
I love SZA. I'm surprised she headlined.
I would have been okay with as her as a headline if the other 2 days were like.
Yeah, I mean, my thing was just all outside of SZA and Nicki, a lot of them felt recycled headliner wise. Like
Cardi does it every year.
Cole had done it a couple years ago. Cardi had done it a couple years ago. Like, and I can't remember who else headlined those other
A$AP.
days. A$AP. Oh my days.
He's been meant to do it
For fuck's
like
sake.
4 years in a row.
We're
innit?
free. We're free of the A$AP curse. There's no way you can headline again, right? We finally did it.
I would have liked to have seen Chris Brown because like he weren't even allowed.
Did you want to do a backflip with him?
Yeah, mate.
Have you seen that video where he does it to March Madness?
Yeah. No, I would have liked to have seen Chris Brown. I won't lie, but
There's a lot of people on there I'd have liked to see, but I just think the way they spread them was
it
poor.
was just shit, man.
poor.
Like, I hate when I'm not buying a ticket if I don't know who.
Yeah, genuinely. Because okay, this time you announced a load of good people, but what if you hadn't?
And like the headliners were like okay, but like there could be like one artist where it's like between you buying a ticket and not buying a ticket.
Yeah,
so,
literally.
Like, why do it like that? It's probably because they didn't have half of them confirmed.
Well, yeah, and a lot of the tickets were still available. I was surprised. Like literally, like a month ago, they were like, "We still have tickets," and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, probably because no one fucking bought them." Because they were like, "I'm confused. Why are these people classified?"
Yeah, what is the point?
Moving like Black Ops, where it fucking redacts the information.
Q1, is it?
The numbers, so what do they mean?
Although Cardi B's set did look interesting.
I didn't see it.
I saw her
you were
like-
enticed, were you? Looked like a good visual
Oh
performance.
yeah, it's decent.
It's
Did
decent,
the
mate.
job.
But you saw her a couple years ago, innit? You caught her wig
Cardi, yeah.
when she threw it in the crowd, innit?
Cardi, yeah. She does it every year. Her and Migos are like. I feel
Did
like they sound
Migos
like
do it this year?
I think they came out, or like at
I
least
know Offset did, but oh wait, they broke up, innit? They're all
Oh yeah,
beefing.
it's just
Was it
Quavo
Uncle
and-
Cuz or whatever they're called?
mate. They've been shit for a while.
Yeah, Migos.
I'm sorry, like,
they need to do a Ray Sherman. They need to disappear,
and come back. Yeah.
figure their shit out, and come back.
Yeah.
Because Shrem 4,
Oh, Shrimp 4, mate.
I'm ready.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
Did you hear the single?
I haven't. No, is it good?
It's alright. Restored the feeling. I hope they
It needs
keep
to be good.
going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if this is the best song, I'm going to be like, oh no.
Yeah.
But if it's like, it was more vibey than a banger, which surprised me. I was like, oh, okay.
They just need to stop like doing this thing where it's like, you know, Sway Lee's doing his like harmonizing shit. Nah, like they worked best when as a duo they worked best when they were just making bangers.
Genuinely.
Like, and then I know towards the end Sway Lee started trying to sing more, and, like,
Yeah.
like trying to be more mellow.
Yeah, have like one or two songs like that.
That's fine.
And
but
then-
that's not I want with Ray Shremmer.
Yeah,
If you want to do that, make that a Sway Lee song. Like,
Yeah, I guess, as I said, I don't mind them doing it with a couple of songs. But
Mm.
it's like,
it's just Slim Jimmy doesn't
Relax.
work on like laid back songs. He's like so loud and
I think in certain, like Guatemala, I think he sounds great on. Like, it depends.
yeah. Just overall,
Low key,
when
if you swapped French Montana for Slim Jimmy on Unforgettable, it might be a better song.
I mean, yeah, but like French Montana's not a high bar, innit? Like,
Yeah, but Unforgettable was like the biggest song in the world when it dropped.
but
I'm just
why?
saying.
But why? It's because it's
Because it's Sway Lee. I'm just saying, I think Slim Jimmy could work. Just,
When you put it like that, I agree. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I think
I agree,
like
yeah.
proper work to.
It's just
I think a lot of the ones on Shrem 3 felt a bit phoned in,
Mm.
where it felt like they weren't even in the studio together.
Well, it was clear like where Sway Lee was like, I want to do my project. They would then their management were probably like, all right, Slim Jimmy, you do one, and then we'll do a triple.
Yeah,
LP.
yeah.
It's like do the Outcast thing, but it's like I don't know if either
yeah.
are strong enough
Definitely.
individually to like make
For sure.
an album.
I think we can agree.
So
Won't be late though, banger.
yeah,
That's my segue. Shall we talk about Drizzy as he released? Obviously, we've kind of talked about it already. Spoilers. Sorry, guys. But honestly, never mind, man.
honestly, never mind.
Don't even
Forget about it. Forget about it.
Don't even stress. Don't even stress yourself. Drizzy surprise dropped. Literally, it was like 3 hours notice. I swear, he was like, "Yo, I'm
Something
dropping
like
an
that, yeah.
album. Here's the artwork." And everyone was like, "What?" And then it dropped, and everyone was like, "What?"
No,
You can lead the way on. Honestly, never mind.
okay. I really enjoy it.
Same.
I think it's a good.
I think it's a great album.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it is. It's enjoyable.
And
Obviously, the like internet don't seem to fuck with it.
Yeah.
And I understand why. Like, if you told me Drake's surprise album, I would never have guessed. Like, we're getting house inspired.
I assumed it was going to be like rap,
Mm.
like pure bars.
It could have been like many genres, but I didn't expect house. I like to the extent of like the house inspired.
Definitely.
Because that is what the album is.
Yeah, like it is just a house.
With like a one bonus track with 21 Savage.
And even then the beat on that is still that kind of funkier side of thing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if that was on a different project, it'd have a different beat. But yeah, I think the internet is wrong. I think you're all wrong. I think it's a great album. Obviously, it's way too soon to say where I would put it in my Drake ranking.
It's tricky to rank because it's so different.
Yeah.
And Drake's always been someone who like switches genres. But this is...
I think this is the Drake album we've been waiting for, in the sense of like where he just commits.
Yeah.
He does the one thing he's not been able to do for any of these 10,000 women he's slept with, and he's committed. He's just gone, here's a genre. You know what? Every album, as much as I love Views, every album since then has been all over the place.
Yeah.
Like genre-wise. Like, I love Views. I think it's a fantastic album. It's everywhere. Like, what song to song, very different vibes, very different genres.
Yeah.
This is the first album since, if you're reading this, it's too late, or first project, should I say, where
it's so committed to one sound.
Yeah.
Which is like, I find it so interesting that this is the sound he settled on.
Yeah.
And was like, this is the project that the whole tape is going to sound. It's going to be cohesive in sound. Whereas like you said, More Life, Views, Scorpion, it's like, here's 2 songs of this, here's 2 songs of this, here's 2 songs of this.
Yeah.
Whereas here is a whole album where like it is all in the same lane.
Yeah.
Of like this house type inspired dance music.
Which, I'll be honest, it has its drawbacks, I think. Like, vocally, I do think Drake definitely struggles on some of the songs.
Yeah.
I think it opens with one of the weak. I think Falling Back is one of the weakest songs.
I like it. I think it's catchy.
I like it, but I like every song on this album.
Yeah, true. But it's just, for me, it like sets the tone perfectly. Like, it's not too over impacted. Like,
I think the thing is, if maybe he'd opened with one with more lyrics, people might have warmed up to it a bit more. Whereas this, because it's so sparse, and he's hitting them weird high notes. I think maybe this automatically put people off, where they were like, what the fuck is this? And then they sort of skipped through. I can see that, yeah. You know, fast forwarded it to like the middle of each song and went, oh, this sounds the same, and like closed it and gave up.
Which is like cheating. Don't give me an opinion on an album if you do that.
Genuinely.
You haven't listened to the album.
Because I see a lot of takes about this album, and I'm like, I just don't agree. Like, Drake's out of ideas. Well, clearly not. Like, here's a whole album of a new genre. What do you mean out of idea? Like, what? Is he not allowed to ever make a new genre sound ever? Like, what? Like, when The Weeknd does it, oh, wow, he's fucking inspirational, blew my mind. I never expected to hear this. But when Drake does it, like, oh, he's out of ideas. Like, and I'm not talking about quality-wise. I'm just saying, like, the fact... I've seen a lot of criticism of this album literally just be, he's out of genres. So here's a house one. Yeah,
but a lot of criticisms that Drake gets is just like unjust. Like, he gets criticised for things other artists never get criticised for. But like, it was very intelligent that this was a surprise drop, because it's like, if you love it, then like you're so gassed, like, surprise album, and it's great. If you don't like it, it was a surprise drop anyway. Like, you go, there was no build up, fine. Yeah, and like, missed one. We missed one. You know, the next project will be totally different. Yeah, because you can tell that was his exact thought process. If we surprise drop this with no build up, if people don't like it, fine. Yeah, honestly, never mind. Honestly, never mind. Like, no one expected it. CLB weren't that long ago. Just go back to that. But then if you like it, and I think a lot of people were expecting a bit more in the vibe of CLB from this. I think when I saw people talking about it, they were expecting like the outtakes of CLB, which I'm glad this isn't. But like you said, not just from a sound perspective, but people always expect in newer Drake albums for it to be like 4 or 5 different genres of music.
Definitely.
Whereas this, like you say, is one.
Yeah.
And like, if you don't like house or like this type of sound, you're not gonna like this.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's so. I know Drake is a bit of his spin on it, but like it is just like if Drake made
plenty
a
of
house
songs don't really have a lot of lyrics to them.
Yeah.
Even the ones that do are kind of twisted to be a bit different, like Liability, where it's pitched down. You know what I mean? You wouldn't get that on a normal Drake album, but here where he's trying a bit different to make it fit with this house, Afro house vibe.
Yeah.
He's going for. Doing that makes it fit. Whereas otherwise, I've heard that song pitched up and at normal speed, and I don't think it sounds as good. It reminds me of it's the opposite of that song on Colours One, Just Know.
Just Know.
You know, where he's pitched all the way up because he's like reminiscing. It makes him sound younger. This is like he's pitched all the way down, like. Yeah. And when you hear them in their normal, it don't hit the same. Like Just Know, Party's normal pitch, it don't sound right. And I have the same thing with Liability here, where I see people be like, "Oh, I should have just kept it," and I'm like, "No." It gives it a vibe where almost like you're sort of out of it, kind of vibing in the middle of the dance floor, slow one. I think it makes it fit, whereas otherwise, I don't think it would have fit on this album. And yeah, I like how even within this genre of like this sort of, as I said, house, Afro house, all these different subgenres of house he's sort of thrown together and put his Drake spin on. I like how much variety we get song to song. You know, you have your sparser songs like Falling Back, we were kind of talking about, or Calling My Name, but then you also have your more rappy ones like obviously the one with 21 Savage or Sticky. Then you have just a house banger like Massive or Overdrive, and then kind of downhill, Tied Up by His Liability. You've got those slower more moody, vibey, moody ones. Like I like how much variety he packs in what is this, 14 songs? 14 songs, which for a Drake album is quite like short as well.
One of his shortest albums,
and realistically 13 songs because the intro is like let's be real. So.
No, this is his shortest album for like a few albums. No,
probably
since like
I don't even know since when.
Yeah.
What Time to Be Alive, I guess, would be the shortest. Yeah, that's 40 minutes.
Yeah,
and if you're not counting that,
probably would be
no.
One of his first ones, no?
Probably. I was going to say, I guess the normal Nothing Was the Same as About an Hour, so maybe that. Yeah, I mean, this might just be Drake's shortest album, looking at it.
I think it must be, no? Because,
yeah, because everything's
quite a few tracks
as
well.
I was going to say they're all quite long, so.
But again, I think that's smart, because, he's not overdoing it. He's not. If you had 18 songs, 19 songs of this, you'd be like, all right, like give it, like come on. Well, I feel like he did what he had to do.
It reminds me a bit of Dawn FM, where if it was longer, you might get sick of it. I'm not saying quality wise. I'm just saying stylistically, where you're sort of like, oh, okay, this is something different. If you click with it, you do. If you don't, you don't. But it's brief enough that you can enjoy it and sort of take it on its own terms.
Yeah.
And it doesn't overstay its welcome.
I think it's a perfect length because, like you say, even though it's cohesive in the sound it's inspired by, like you say, there's still differences in the tracks.
Yeah.
Like you say, you have the slower tracks, you have where it's pure house with like barely any lyrics or like Drake. And then you have a few rappier ones.
Yeah. He's definitely going to drop again this year, easily.
You think?
Especially where this wasn't received well. In general, obviously, I think over time.
You know what? I think give it 6 months, and like people will be saying, you know what? You're gonna have like fucking videos on Twitter and TikToks, which like, why did we hate this?
Yeah.
You're like, dun dun dun.
All you need, the weather's beautiful. You just need to go out, hear this on like a rooftop club, and you'll vibe.
No,
genuinely, like
I'm telling you, like if you heard this in some of these songs in the club,
perfect summer album.
Like what a vibe! Like
the thing is, it's fun to hate on Drake. on social media. Like, ha ha ha. Biggest artist in the world, pretty much. Oh, let me slag off his new
What a
thing.
loser. Yeah.
I'm not, like, I told you, I'm not being, like, literally, I had 2 different people text me in the morning. This dropped before I was awake to say, Drake dropped, it's shit. And I was like, bruv,
Keep it
come on. Did you even hear the album?
Yeah.
Like, and so I think he's one, especially with a surprise drop where people had such expectations. You know, his last surprise drop was like what? Either Dark Lane, was that a surprise, or did we have a bit? Yeah. We had that, or prior to that, obviously, if you're reading this, was a surprise drop at the time. Like, you know, I mean, he sort of comes with an expectation. But like, I really fuck with this.
No, it's a breath of fresh air.
Definitely, and it shows that Drake still has some level of like. There are other genres I want to try, and I'm not just going to sit back and give you the same style of project over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Which, as I said, even though I really like Views, I think CLB's a better album than people give it credit for. They are the same style of album, and every Drake project, More Life, Scorpion, even Dark Lane, where it's just like here's a bunch of songs. You know.
Oh, he's been doing it for years now. It's like I have to cater for every sound.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas like this is like I'm gonna do. This felt like, you know, he heard like a couple of house songs, he got inspired. He's like, I want to do an album.
Yeah, well,
a pure album of this.
Well, and Black Coffee's executive producer on this. Obviously, he's already worked with him on More Life, so I can see that he was sort of working with these people and was like, yeah, let's
do this. Like, I don't know how else you would get this from Drake.
Yeah.
Like, it must have just been like one of them moments where like, yeah, like I want to make an album like this.
So we definitely we have the potential that we are going to get that pure R&B Drake album.
We need it.
I think I think his next project is either going to be just rap or just R&B. I think he might.
See, the only thing that annoys me is like, you know, like we've had this conversation before. Like it's been said for years. Like, it's fine if he wants to do, you know, the Loverboys, the Views, because like we both like Loverboy.
Yeah.
But, like, it's fine if he wants to do that type of album where he has to make a song for everyone. It's fine. But then why can't you drop projects on the sides?
Yeah.
Where it's pure R&B, like we said, we both like this project. But why can't this have been?
Yeah.
And it shows he can do it.
I wonder if this was testing it.
And now I'm worried because people don't like it.
But
will he still do that? Where it's like, here's the album, here's something I really wanted to do on the side.
I think the thing is, I think Drake's always been nervous to drop a pure anything album because it's gonna get scrutinized. But I think the smart thing here is where he's dropped this pure house album and generally wasn't well received. I think he's gonna go, okay, well now whatever I next drop, so long as it's more in my sound, people are probably gonna receive it a bit better. Because already people really fuck with the 21 Savage song.
Yeah.
You know,
and for good reason. Like it would have been one of the better songs on Loverboy.
Definitely.
So
my only real criticism of this album is I just wish he collabed with a few more people. I like that it wasn't stuffed with collabs, don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
I wouldn't have minded. There's plenty of artists I think could have really sounded good on this sort of house style. He's ushering in a bit. Like, I'm not saying he's invented the style, but this is not a mainstream style. Outside of like a couple of artists, I don't know many artists making this sound.
No, I like
it's certainly no one as mainstream as Drake is.
No, and it's more of a house is more of a in the UK, house is big.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've always had like garage and stuff like that, where it's sort of been, especially sort of mashing it up with like hip hop.
Yeah,
has been big here.
You can't go out in like Shoreditch or Soho or like Central London without hearing like a DJ trying to do a house remix of like a popular hip hop song or something. So like, yeah, I think it's definitely being more well received over here.
For sure. I mean, More Life was.
Yeah. So I feel like eventually it will catch on.
For sure. I mean, it's a Drake album at the end of the day. When CLB dropped, I remember people hating on that. Now I see people talking about CLB. Oh man, some of the best Drake music we got in years. You know, oh man, Drake really ran 2017, didn't he? Like, I mean, whatever you want to look at, I mean, Drake himself talked about it, where he drops like 3 minutes after midnight, trash emoji, dead. It's not until later on where people really receive, like Dawn FM. When I remember the first day that was out. Well, whack, shit. Weekend's fallen off. What's he doing?
I don't know about this one. Like Gasoline. What's that voice? He's doing in Gasoline.
Tory Lanez did the 80s sound better.
Yeah.
You know.
Give it like a month and then this is one of the best.
Who's still around? Like, I'm not being funny. Drake's been around for well over a decade now. Like, I'm not gonna, even if public opinion doesn't change on this, I don't think it'll really matter.
No, I don't think it will.
Yeah.
Like, no one expected it, and like it's like I say, you don't like it, it's fine. It was a throwaway. If in your head, throwaway, fine. It was a surprise. Didn't expect it.
Definitely.
If he announced this album and we had and we had to wait like 6 months.
Yeah, if he dropped
the single was
Currents or something, like, I don't know.
Say the single was Jimmy Cook's.
And
we had to wait 3 months. Then he drops this. Then there's an issue. Like if people don't like it.
Yeah.
Because you've waited and your expectations are high, but there was no expectations. Because there was no album. So
and I wonder if that's why like it's called what it is and why the artwork is the way it is. Obviously, we've sort of talked about Drake artwork before. Once again, I don't know. I wish he put a bit more effort in.
Yeah,
you know, you could have done a cool like cover where he's like in a like party, like
you could have taken how many images from the music video.
Yeah, as always,
because that music video was fucking is hilarious. Like it's great,
honestly.
So
now when he Frozen calling the second half calling my name in there
on the floor,
the fucking
when the fucking guy starts singing
best I ever heard. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Even if people don't fuck with that album, that music video is a way Drake gets them talking. You know, it's like Way Too Sexy. The music video got everyone, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
He's one of the most calculated people in music for a reason.
And he like made house like Drake. He made it like corny and like not as bad, but like your pussy.
It's calling my name.
Like, it's Drake. That's such a Drake thing to put in a song. Like, and I like it. I'm here.
Yeah, I was gonna say honestly, I wouldn't mind more of this. To some degree, like if we remixed this.
Yeah, I don't know if I want another.
I don't mean another project. But I just mean like I wouldn't mind like a couple of remixes. Chuck on like
or a few features with other producers. In this lane.
Yeah. 100%.
I wouldn't mind.
K-Tronada should remix anything off here. I don't know if him and Drake like have beef or whatever, but
I think it's possible. I think we will.
I think they would fit. Obviously we've talked about The Weeknd. 100%. I would love to hear him remix one of these.
I reckon I can see him doing like after hours where it's like here's the remixes.
Yeah,
he adds
I
on
think
a few remixes to the bonus.
Definitely.
I feel like
and I wonder if that might warm people up a bit more. Like I don't know, throw like WizKid on Text Go Green.
Yeah,
something like that. You know what I mean? Like throw someone on one of these songs, and I wonder if people will like, oh, let me give this another go.
Yeah, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah,
because you are.
You're wrong. You're all wrong. You're all wrong about honestly. Nevermind. It's a great fucking album. I'm telling you, cut this on rooftop brunch, chilling, bottomless mimosas.
He did it with Afro beats and that. Like I get it, like culture vulture. Like,
yeah.
Fine. Like, but he did it in
How dare he culture vulture house music?
Yeah, but like he made that summer and. Let him do it with this.
Yeah,
song.
like
it can be. There are some anthems on it.
100%.
So, but like I said, it shows Drake can do it. Where he can make a project where it's just one sound.
Definitely.
Like, it just from now what I'm getting is he has to be inspired, and I feel like this was a moment where he's like, let's lock into like the studio for a week and let's make this project.
Yeah,
because he like. I don't know, he just woke up and was like, okay, how? Like, he heard something and was like, yeah, I want to do my version of this.
100%.
So I hope we get this, like, with other sounds, with other genres, like, where it's locked in.
I mean, like people always like to joke. Drake's finished the story mode. He's just doing side quests now. If he just wants to drop a different genre of music, you know, he's probably the best artist out at doing it, where he can just make any genre and...
someone will like it.
I was gonna say probably gonna fuck with it to some degree.
Someone will like it.
Yeah,
it's Drake. Like,
Definitely. So now that we've alienated our entire music audience, can't believe you called Kendrick's album shit. Drake's fucking sick. You lot mad dick riders.
Yeah, when you put it like that. That'll be the title of the video.
What, mad dick riders?
No, it'll be Kendrick shit, Drake good. Or Why Honestly Nevermind is a better album than
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Love it. So I don't have any more music hot takes to give them.
No, I think we discussed everyone who we were going to go over
pretty thoroughly
before the break.
Yeah. So I guess what do you want to shift into? TV or?
Yeah, I'm happy to.
What do you want to talk about then? Stranger Things or kind of the Disney side of stuff with Kenobi and
should we
the MCU and that?
So I have nothing to say about the MCU currently.
That's fair enough.
Like, I don't know. For me, I'm just like, at the moment, I'm just like tuned out of the MCU.
Same.
It's for me. It's like,
yeah,
it's tired, man.
Yeah,
they need to change something because I don't know. Like this phase, were we in phase 4?
4.
This has been like, for me, like the worst phase.
Easily. I think the thing is that I don't need us to build to anything. I don't need a Thanos. I don't need Galactus. I don't need whatever. I just need, if you're not going to do that, make the individual stories feel more individual and stronger.
And you're spot on because people keep. Kevin Feige said this like a few times. Like, yeah, we're not building towards anything. So then, why do all the films still feel the same?
Yeah, like
because it's
just let people do creative.
Exactly. Like when you look at and the thing I find funniest is the phase 1 films, like the first the first 4, the first few Iron Man films, and that they felt more individualistic than the new films, and they were building to something. Like they were,
and that's the thing. Like, okay, yes, it was quite vague then what exactly, but we were building towards Avengers,
and even then, yeah, we were building to the first Avengers film.
Like, but here it just feels like they want to get back to phase 1, but with none of the creativity, where it's just sort of like, oh, okay. The only thing that's felt truly on its own to me was Moon Knight, and even then it just felt like another Marvel thing.
And it's only on its own in the sense that like there's no MCU.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And
I'm not even like, I have no issue if you want to put 7 cameos in your film, like whatever, but what I want like is a film to be distinguishable from another one. So like
that's the thing, for all of its flaws, phase 1's movies are very their own thing.
Like if
that's the strength of them.
Yeah, because like if you watch 4 and then you watch Captain America, like
I couldn't believe
they're different.
As I was watching the end of Moon Knight, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The second he like ran up the pyramid, as a sky beam shot in the air, and 2 Egyptian goddesses or gods had like a like kaiju fight.
Giant, yeah.
I was like, what happened? Like if you had told me Ethan Hawke and Oscar Isaac's characters were going to end up dueling on the side of the pyramid, I would have laughed at the start of that. I'll be like, no, clearly they're setting up that they're going to have a battle of wits, you know, that they're going to match brains and kind of have a talking finale, and that's how they'll make this unique. But nah, what if he just got superpowers and could fight though?
And like the thing that is annoying about that is the stuff we get before is quite like cool when it's when he's like I think they're implying he's dead, and he's like Ethan Hawke is now like his psychiatrist, and that stuff was kind of interesting. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like
you were sort of like, oh man, this is what the whole show should have been.
Exactly. But then like you said, it just immediately goes back to, oh yeah, and by the way, like his sidekick or the girl he was with, she's now
superpowered, and everyone has superpowers, and Even though Moon Knight going from a thing where no one has superpowers, not even Moon Knight, when we adapted it, suddenly everyone has powers, and we end it with a fucking kaiju. I was like, what is happening? Like, why? What was the reason? It's more expensive to do it this way.
And it's a shame because, like, I don't, like, hate Moon Knight. Like, it's after, like, it's been out for a while now, like, I don't hate it. Like, I thought it was okay.
It's probably the strongest Marvel show of the Disney Plus era.
I think I agree with you.
It's probably better than the worst Marvel Netflix season. Probably better than Iron Fist. I'll give it that. But is it good?
I think it's just fine.
Do I want to see more of it?
And I feel like I'm just repeating myself for, like, the MCU. You know?
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's like my views, everything is fine. Like, you'll go in and have, like, an okay time.
It's just mid as far as the eye can see.
But, like, I
feel nothing towards it anymore.
But if you want any sort of, like, movement within you when you watch these films, you're not going to get anything.
And I think I had this realization when I was talking to my parents, because they've seen all these movies. They were like, oh, we'll probably go see Thor. Do you want to come? And I was like, I don't think so. Because I had a realization where I've not liked, outside of Shang-Chi, or should I specify the first 3/4 of Shang-Chi, I've not really liked a single Phase 4 anything Marvel have done. They've all either been fine or some of the worst MCU stuff I've seen. Which is quite impressive considering this is the broadest scope of stuff.
Well, let's break it down because I want to go through this properly then. So Phase 4, what have we got in Phase 4?
We started with Black Widow, if you count that, which is maybe the most bizarre choice I've ever seen of giving someone a movie after we kill them.
And, like, that film was crap.
I like the first half of Black Widow.
For me, like, I didn't really enjoy it.
I think it's as good as any other Marvel. But on the weaker side, I will say I didn't really enjoy it. Nah.
So we start with Black Widow.
Yeah, was the definition of mid to bad.
Then we get Shang-Chi,
which, as I said, the only one of these I've really enjoyed, and even then, I have to kind of forget that it ends with a big fight in the middle of a CGI field where there's a big monster that is being a monster, and you're like, why?
It's just, for me, like, Shang-Chi should have been, like, in the same lane as Black Panther, like, in terms of what that film did. Like, for me, it was just another normal.
I don't know. For me, I really enjoy Shang-Chi. As I said, the first 3/4 of it, until we get to the magical realm, then it loses me. But the actual core film with the characters and his dad and all of that, I really enjoy. As I said, it's the only Phase 4 thing I will say I enjoyed it.
That's fair. Eternals, I haven't seen.
A lot of good ideas, not good movie. Maybe the only MCU thing that actively feels like it's not in the MCU. I don't mean tonally. I mean, like, lore-wise. The only one of these where I'm like, I'm pretty sure this breaks the MCU.
I get that vibe. Just from, like, what I've seen, it's the only thing I look at and go, like, is this, like, the same?
Which is, like, built into the Eternals, I'll say, before all the comic fans get at me, where they're like, that's because originally they were supposed to not be in the Marvel Universe, but then they just put them there. Originally, the idea was, like, the Marvel comics existed in the Eternals. Like, the Eternals were real. Like, they were meant to be mythic things, where it was, like, history and da-da-da-da, but then they were like, nah, Thor shows up. You know what I mean? But yeah, Eternals may be the only MCU thing I've ever seen where I feel like actively it, like, breaks the MCU from a lore perspective.
It looks quite brazy.
Yeah. Good idea. As I said, I appreciate they tried something. It's just then the Marvel formula kicks in and you're like, what is happening?
I can't, man. Like, I think Kevin Feige needs to, like, duck out. Like, after Endgame, if you were gonna do something new, which you needed to do after Endgame, you need to do something new. Like, why keep the guy who like did everything before?
Why is he so heavily involved?
I know. Like,
I don't get it.
Then we get Spider-Man,
which I don't like.
Yeah, I mean,
And also the thing with every Spider-Man movie is they're almost cheating putting them in whatever phase they're in, because they only come out as regularly as they do because there's a deal with Sony where they have to come out every couple of years or they lose the rights. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of if you dislike any of the Spider-Man movies, in a way they're all just sort of in each phase for the sake of it. Where it's just sort of like, oh yeah, well we need to make another Spider-Man movie because we need to buy another yacht. So
and it's like for the potential, like for me, it didn't live up to it.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when we got Spider-Verse 2 years before.
Yeah. I'll be honest, for me personally, it's probably the one I've enjoyed the most out of the films.
It's probably
the new ones.
The second. I'll probably put it behind Shang-Chi. But even then, I just didn't really like it that much. Outside of Tobey Maguire, my boy,
and then
I didn't really enjoy it.
The other one, obviously, Thor: Love and Thunder's just come out. I haven't seen that.
Neither have I.
The other one was Doctor Strange,
which you like.
I liked, yeah,
and I disliked.
For me, I like it because it's the only one that's different. And don't get me wrong, it's still an MCU film, but
outside of the visuals, though, I don't think there's anything there. Is my problem. I think this is the weakest Marvel script maybe ever.
Really?
Like, maybe on a script level, I've never seen a movie just go, she's evil now.
I know that.
You know
what?
Like it's not just she's evil. It's like the whole plot hinges on she's evil now. Don't think about it. I know we had a whole show about like her turning good at the end, but like, nah, she's evil now.
Yeah.
And just like everything in that other universe was some of the worst MCU stuff I've ever had to sit through. I hated every minute of it.
Really?
Like, oh my god, the alternate universe. Why does that exist?
You weren't fucking with the alternate Avengers.
Maybe the first movie I've ever sat in since Suicide Squad and gone, none of these people were in the room together when they filmed this.
I don't think they were, though.
Exactly. Yeah. Elizabeth Olsen said she never met John Krasinski.
Yeah, which is like weird. Why? Why is that the case?
Because they were creating this movie in freefall. I'm convinced. Because originally it was meant to come out before Spider-Man.
Yes, yeah, and they changed director. And
so I think when they changed director, they went, what do we do? And it's so weird, like for a movie called Multiverse of Madness, it's weird we only really go to one other universe.
I feel like because Spider-Man did it, they were like...
but you don't go anywhere else.
No, but like because people expected this to be like Spider-Man on steroids, where like you've got so many cameos.
But I mean, even out just going anywhere visually different, like for a movie called Multiverse of Madness, why was the finale not them jumping like a bit like Spider-Verse, the ending where obviously they're all falling in on each other, but what if it was like they keep jumping between realities and fighting in different, like visually, like imagine Sam Raimi getting to do that where just boom, they're in a different place, boom, they're in a different place, like it's just like. Yeah, I think it was a bad movie, which is rare I say about a Marvel film, where normally I'm like, it was mid. I think visually the best Marvel movie I've seen, maybe ever. Everything Sam Raimi does from a director point of view, I think is fantastic.
And I think that's why I liked it, because for me, it, like we just said, nothing feels distinguishable. This film did, even if it was only visually. Like, yeah, you have to.
My thing is just distinguishable in that I think the script was diabolically bad.
I'll be honest, I did enjoy it.
Yeah. I get why. I get your argument. I'm just saying, like, I thought, as I said, visually everything was great. It's the first Doctor Strange anything where I've gone, oh yeah, they made him fun, like on a magic in the films, where like the fight where they're using like mystical like music notes and all of that stuff was fantastic. All the like the dream walking stuff, like all of that fantastic. But as I said, just the script was terrible, and I never want to sit through the Illuminati sequence again unless you hold a gun to my head.
I wasn't a fan of that. I wasn't a fan of that at all, because like number one, it just didn't make sense how like Captain Marvel just gets bodied. I know a lot of things didn't make sense about that.
Well, and just like it just felt so like forced.
Yeah.
Like Charles Xavier just
it
rolls up, and you're like, "Whoa, Charles Xavier!" But
it felt awkward. And like what you were saying, how like none of them were in the same room. You can feel that sort of thing where it just felt awkward.
Yeah,
like,
there was no chemistry at all.
So it's. But again, for me, like I give it points because at least there was like a hint of like life.
But is this why? Like, this is why I hate Marvel now. Because why is that a point? Like, how desperate for like good movies are we that the point is like it was nice to look at. It didn't hurt my eyes to look at this movie.
But that's a criticism of Marvel, man. Like,
yeah, and I'm not being funny. Neither of us have seen Love and Thunder yet. Why does it look the way it does?
But this has been a thing for like the whole phase.
But this is like on well, no, let's be fair. This has been a thing for a while now.
Because Black Widow looked bad. Like there were some bits.
No, but even pre-Endgame, things have been rough. Like visually, the Marvel movies have been deteriorating for a while.
No, they have been, yeah. But it's been bad. Like,
I mean, I'll be fair. Even movies like Avengers looks bad.
With the first one.
The first one looks like a TV show with good CGI. I'll specify. Yeah. But lighting-wise, it looks like fucking... like when you compare it to a movie I don't like, but that came out the same month, I think, Dark Knight Rises. Like visually compare those movies.
Yeah.
Like Rises looks outstanding. It looks like a movie, whereas Avengers... I don't know, like... And so, yeah, I think in general, Marvel movies for a long time, though, have been looking... But Thor Love and Thunder looks like embarrassingly bad.
It does, yeah.
It looks like a parody of like a Marvel movie,
and
visually.
Like,
I'm not talking plot. It could be the best story I've ever seen. I doubt it.
But like, considering the first four does look quite nice in places.
Yeah, well, it was shot on film for one.
And then like, since the first four, they've all been kind of... Just in from a Thor standpoint. Like,
yeah.
They've all kind of been getting... I don't know.
Yeah, I think Dark World looks visually a bit better than Ragnarok.
Yeah. And
then Ragnarok to me is the definition of like the standard Marvel look, where it's like everything's kind of grey, but like
but then in places it feels oversaturated.
Yeah,
so try and make it look upbeat and
100% that, where you're just sort of like, what's happening here? Are we just pumping these out? Is this
no? But
what we're doing now?
That is what it is though. They are pumping out so many films and projects now.
Well, and the TV shows, I think, are having an impact
and
well.
Like, I get it from that standpoint because it's hard to keep track on all these things. But then you need to look at your approach then. Like, why not cut down the films and try... I'd rather have 2 good films a year than, like, 5 mediocre ones.
Well, and, like, they're moving past mediocre now into, like, bad. You know what I mean? Like, and like, every Marvel movie there's been the debate over it. Is it even good?
Yeah. And just on the point of visuals, like She-Hulk looks bad. Like She-Hulk looks shit.
Rough. Why is a character that you need CGI for being done on a TV budget? Yeah. I don't understand it.
And like, it's cheating to say TV budget with Marvel because it's Disney. Like.
But even then, it's easier to make something look good for 2 hours than it is for 6.
That's fair.
At the end of the day. But I mean, this is Disney. This isn't just Marvel. Kenobi looks rough in a lot of places. Yeah. Like, I think it's this new volume technology they're using. I think only certain people can use it well. First season of Mandalorian looks great. Batman used it, or The Batman used it. That looks fantastic. But I think a lot of directors maybe don't know how to... because it's LED screens rather than green screen, you know?
Right.
So I wonder where it's new technology, people just don't know how to use it.
But then I find that confusing because, like, Mandalorian is a Disney... like.
Yeah, but Jon Favreau is a very accomplished director, isn't he? At the end of the day, and I think they just did a lot of pre-visualization work where they storyboarded everything. I'm sure, and
in like every episode of Mandalorian, like the credits, they just show you all like the pre-planned.
Whereas they didn't do that for Kenobi.
That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, he clearly knows what he's doing, at least from like a visual standpoint.
Yeah, definitely.
Mandalorian is like beautiful.
And I mean, all of Favreau's Jungle Book. I mean, even The Lion King. As much as I fucking hate that it exists, it looks good.
in
Like, I'm
place,
not being
yeah.
fun. Like the technology on display there is impressive. Whether it's a good anything
A good
apart
move,
from
yeah,
that is your own choice. But I'm not going to argue that visually it's not impressive what Favreau can accomplish, considering he doesn't really come from that style of filmmaking. You know, he made like a lot of offbeat comedies before, prior to Iron Man.
Didn't he do Elf?
Yeah.
He did do Elf.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like, he's not a blockbuster visual CGI person.
Yeah.
He's very much a character-driven comedy person for the moment, which is why Iron Man 1 works so well.
Yeah, it was a perfect balance.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's the perfect example of they had no script or anything for that. They were fucking freestyling that whole movie. But some people can do it and some people can't at the end of the day.
But, so yeah, that's what's come out with the films. What we have left to come out.
Oh god, there's more.
We'll do the TV
We're only
shows
halfway
after.
as well. Don't forget.
There's still quite a few projects to come out. We'll talk about the TV shows after, but so we have the second Black Panther, to come.
Which is either way going to be a compromised vision from whatever they planned originally.
I'm very curious as to what's
well,
gonna go on there.
I'm not saying it'll be bad. I'm just saying clearly they've had to cross mountains to make this movie.
Which is like, you can cut them slack there, like
yeah.
Okay, like, but right, we'll see about that one. Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah, Guardians. I mean, even Guardians 3,
3.
I don't feel much. I should feel more.
I have faith in James
Yeah, I mean,
Gunn.
I didn't like Guardians 2, but
After Suicide Squad, I have faith.
Same.
That it'll
That's
be
the
good.
thing. That's the one I'm looking at where I'm like, okay, maybe.
Blade.
I would be excited if it was an MCU.
But this is the thing that's worrying me now, because before it was like, before MCU had Spider-Man, it was if Spider-Man was in MCU, he would be great. If we had Fantastic Four and the X-Men in MCU, it'd be great. But now you're just like, because that's another one that's to come, Fantastic Four. It's meant to be in Phase 4, ain't it?
Yeah, that's the closer, isn't it? Fantastic Four.
And we get Ant-Man before that, which will be like the most MCU film.
I love Ant-Man 1. I think it's, for the MCU, one of their stronger entries. I realized after seeing Ant-Man and the Wasp, is that the second one? I realized that I think everything good in that movie came from Edgar Wright.
And
like, I think where they kept his original script more or less intact, I think.
Well, you can still see elements of his style. Like, what's the character? He's like Paul Rudd's right hand man. Like,
what, Michael Pena?
Yeah.
Like
the way he tells the story.
Yeah.
That's a very Edgar Wright thing.
Yeah, 100%.
So
that's basically that sequence from Shaun of the Dead.
Exactly.
Go down to Winchester and have
and
a party.
blow
All
over.
blow over. Yeah, you know, it's basically that, but on steroids.
Yeah. And like you say, like, Ant-Man 1 is a very enjoyable film.
I was gonna say, I don't think it's like the deepest, most fantastic movie, but I think for the MCU, it's in my like top 10 certainly. I love Paul Rudd as Scott Lang. I think he's great. But yeah, seeing the second one was like realizing in slow motion, like, oh no, like everything good came from Edgar Wright. I think, like, outside of maybe one or two things. Like, that is not a good movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think that's one of the worst MCU movies.
But it's just telling that, like, when they hire directors and they let them do what they are paid to do, you get like you're at least going to get a semi-decent product. But like, when you're just, I feel like now they hire directors that they can control. They know they can just be like I'm going to butcher his name. Who does the 4th film?
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm not saying he's a bad director. Like, I know people like Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, or the movie he did before he did Thor. I know people really like that one. I can't remember what it's called, but
to me, it's like they have a profile of a director they want to hire.
Yeah, I mean, every MCU director, more or less, makes a great indie movie, like a fantastic indie movie where everyone loves it. Like, I can't remember what John Watts' first set of movies is called, but people love it. But they go, oh man, great movie. When he got chosen, they were like, yeah. and then it's like all his style and personality is just drained out of, and I feel that way. Taika Waititi,
like elements of the humor stay, which is interesting.
but it's also like the humor with Guardians, it changed, where it feels now like whether you like the Thor movies or not, his character shifts so dramatically from the Avengers and first 2 Thor movies to Ragnarok onwards. And I think every MCU character does that, where they're all sarcastic, they're all self-aware, and it's like this worked when it was certain people.
Yeah, because it was different. Like, Guardians worked because they were the only ones that were like,
I'm a silly man. Like when Scott Lang was the silly Avenger, it was cool. But when they're all, I'm tripping over and bouncing off. Even Moon Knight. I'm his bumbling personality who's gonna get in slapstick hijinks. Like every single one of them now does that, where it's like, ha ha ha, he fell over. That's funny because he fell over.
And like
Jar Jar stepped in the poop.
Yeah.
It's literally that, but like a whole movie of it.
And it's interesting because like Thor was like the most serious one.
Yeah, and I'll be fair, the Thor movies didn't work.
Yeah,
like they were not. They were the weakest received, not including Incredible Hulk. They were clearly a character they didn't know what to do with, because they didn't want to commit to doing a full-on fantasy epic.
Yeah.
But I just... a Guardians ripoff is not what I needed from Thor.
Yeah. Because why would you not just watch Guardians?
Yeah,
Guardians
James Gunn... If you're aping James Gunn's style, I'm just going to go, well, man, James Gunn's good at what he does.
And when he has no restraints, he produces films like Suicide Squad.
Yeah, or he does Peacemaker, which I didn't really click with. But
that's a bit different. Like,
that's a TV show.
Yeah.
But even then, although I didn't finish Peacemaker, at least it had a personality, which is more than I can say for any Disney Plus show so far. Any of them.
So you didn't fuck with Peacemaker?
I thought it was trying too hard.
I can see
like
that,
we gotta make the funniest improv joke. Like it was clear they didn't have a script outside of the broad strokes. Well, and I think
the other thing was like it was very much people liked this character, so let's give him a show.
Yeah.
So like,
I know I like the direction they went in the story. It was just I felt like the story took a back. And I know I've seen a lot of people go, oh no, you need to get past that episode. I think it's 4 where the story kicks in a bit more. Because it already was, I think I saw the first 3. I saw up to where his dad went to jail and we found out he was like a neo-Nazi.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. But it's just, I felt like it was so improv, quick story point, improv. Like, I don't know, it got away from itself a bit for me. But I appreciated it way more than I have any of these Marvel shows. Or even the Star Wars ones.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just... We've said it before, and I don't want to like keep saying the same thing, but every Marvel show has just felt like another season of the Marvel show. Like none of them are unique. They're all they could be an anthology series.
It could be like every episode is a different hero, and But like on that topic, let's talk about the shows then. So, Phase 4.
Obviously, I mean, it opened with WandaVision. Didn't that come out before Black Widow, I think?
That was the first thing we got in Phase 4. So for me, WandaVision, I know like towards the end, it lost a bit of steam, but I think it's one of the best MCU shows like that we got. I'd say it was, for me, it might be my favourite. Just because the first few episodes are like a complete shift, where it's like, what is going on? Like it's the mysteries there.
So you mean when it's the sitcom?
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
When it's not anything to do with the MCU, really. Yeah.
And I liked it. I thought it was interesting.
I think first 2 episodes very solid. 3rd and 4th a bit weaker. 5th got you really ready for a great finale, and then 6 fumbled it.
Flat, yeah.
I am of course referring to every single one of these shows because they all do the same thing.
Oh, but
like it's insane how the episodes. First 2 episodes, great, get you hooked.
Yeah.
3rd, kind of a miss. 4th,
like,
maybe the worst one of the series. 5th, oh, we're back. Holy shit, I'm ready for the finale. The finale,
Flat.
fucking dog shit,
But-
and makes you wonder why you even bothered watching.
But like, it's so crazy because, like you say, the first two are good. Then you get like filler, where it's like, why do you need filler in a 6-episode show?
Like,
You should be like,
you have less than half the runtime of any of the Netflix shows, and you do about a quarter of the story.
They were 13 episodes each, the Netflix ones.
And our biggest criticism of them was they could be a few less. If you gave me 6 episodes of any of the Netflix shows, I think they would all maybe be better. Maybe even, I don't know about Iron Fist, I never watched it, but if you edited them down to be 6 episodes long, I think they would all slap.
I think Daredevil is the only one that justifies being a
Yeah.
series.
And even then, I think season 2, you'd have to cut some plot lines because it's a bit overstuffed, but if it was shorter, I think it would absolutely slap.
Yeah, I mean, ones like Jessica Jones, I think would fit well.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think she has enough.
Well, don't worry, she's coming back. Her Daredevil and Kingpin are all back in this Echo show.
They are going to be. The Daredevil show will like break my heart because I can tell what it's going to be like.
That's my thing. Is I'm just like I've written it all off at this point, where I'm just like, whatever you want to do, you can do. Like,
But following WandaVision, we get Falcon and Winter Soldier.
this was the one that broke my heart at the time. Because WandaVision I was enjoying, and then the finale I was like, this was kind of crap. Why did it end with just another palette swap fight? I'm so if any of your Marvel things, and when you're scripting them, end with a sky beam or a palette swapped fight where the hero and the villain are basically the same power set, but one is purple and one's red or whatever, just delete those pages and come up with something new, because I'm sick of seeing that. I'm sick of... It's been a problem since Phase 1. And at this point, it's like a feature of the MCU, where it's like, oh, and the finale... Which is weird, because the Avengers did so good at not doing that, where Thanos isn't just a colour-swapped anyone. You know, he's a unique character. They finally did it. And even, like, the Captain America... the third one did it well, where Zemo's not like a palette swapped. He's not even the guy they fight at the end. They fight Iron Man. Like, you know what I mean? It disappointed me because I was like, oh no, these are just formula.
Yeah.
Like I after WandaVision, I was like, okay, the last episode was very formulaic, but that was the last episode. You know, maybe they just fumbled the bag at the end there. They didn't know. They had this cool mystery, didn't know how to end it, so they were like, oh, just end it the normal way. Then Falcon and Winter Soldier hits, and it's like, oh no, this is just the formula.
And the thing that disappointed me about Falcon and Winter Soldier is, like, you get very personal moments. Like Bucky, there was so much potential there with him. Like the stuff with like his lists and the way he has to.
Well, even just him and Sam interacting.
Yeah,
they're some of the most fun pairing of the MCU.
Yeah,
like,
they are. Because
you know, their bit in Civil War where Spider-Man beats them up is great.
Yeah,
like.
People love them in Civil War, but then it's just like you have like, I'm sorry, but the villain was just. I'm not talking about what were they called? The
Flag Smashers.
I don't know about.
She was in Solo, innit?
Yeah.
And wasn't good in that either.
But I liked. Is it John Walker?
Yeah.
I thought he was cool, but then
I think they didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah, because he kind of takes a backseat.
Yeah, he like
what
is villainous and then like just ducks.
What villain? Why do you need another villain? You have evil Captain America.
Yeah.
Why do you need another villain?
I think they were shook. Oh, we gotta be too political. You know, I genuinely think that's what crippled Falcon and Winter Soldier is that they wanted to make like a political thriller and then were like, oh, but we don't want to get political, which is weird because you already did that with Winter Soldier and it worked. Like Winter Soldier isn't deeply political, but it's got stuff to say about like privacy and algorithms and, you know, it's literally about the Nazis infiltrating America and nobody noticed it. And
it's the best MCU film.
Yeah,
so.
For that reason, because it actually has I'm not saying it's got mad deep layers, but it has more to say,
and it commits to the plot.
Whereas this is like, it wants to talk about like nationalism, and then like it's like, oh no, that's way too of a hot button issue. Let's just not. Let's end it with Sam going, "You lot need to sit down and figure this out. Peace."
I'm Captain America now.
And it's like,
and is it Sarah Carter? She's like, was she the pawnbroker or something? What's her name in it?
Power broker.
Power broker. That's it.
Such a memorable show, and you bring Zemo back, and he's cool, but he's literally there for like 2 episodes.
He was sick though. Like, when he was there, he was cool, and then like you said,
but like you said with John Walker, he's there and then he ducks.
And they even like they give him the thing.
For one scene. Everything about it was just so like missed opportunities.
There was a good show in there, and
100%.
Again they fumbled.
I mean, I think all of these shows would have been a good movie,
especially Falcon and Winter Soldier
and Hawkeye. I don't think you watched.
I haven't seen Hawkeye. No.
Hawkeye stinks of like, this should have just been a fucking Disney Plus movie.
Yeah,
just a Christmas movie where they Hawkeye and his new sidekick, who becomes the new Hawkeye,
genuinely
fight Kingpin.
Because who would have ever? I don't know if there's like someone out there that would have been like, if there's one character we need the TV show of, it would be Hawkeye.
Like this. Well, and I think we also hit the problem of, you have Mandalorian season 2 and WandaVision back to back with the big cameo. And this like infects every Marvel show. Because Falcon and Winter Soldier was already filmed. It was supposed to come out before WandaVision, but COVID fucked it up.
Yeah.
But after those two, Mandalorian with Luke and Ahsoka and everyone that pops up in season 2 of that, back to back with WandaVision and Quicksilver. Oh shit! Da, 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 all the buzz. You know, is Magneto going to show up? Da, 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 all of that. I think Marvel looked at, or Disney looked at that and went, from now on, every show needs that.
Needs the cameo.
Because it hits with Loki, where the finale, the whole thing is a mystery. What's going on with the TVA? What's this? What's that? Oh, it's Kang.
Kang, yeah.
Setting up the future. And you're like, oh, okay, cool, I guess, but what? You know, I think most people were just confused when they saw that. And then after that, it's like insane.
Yes. Well,
you know, I can't remember what else we get. So, then it's Hawkeye, of course.
Hawkeye, then Moon Knight.
We get Hawkeye, where it's just Kingpin. Oh, but we can't reveal him.
Yeah.
We've got to save him for a fucking smartphone picture reveal. As everything just feels rushed, and it's just a shame. Because they're the biggest entertainment anything in the world right now. They don't have to rush it. They can spend the money.
No, come on, man.
You know, people are gonna. How long has it been since Guardians 2? People are gonna be there for Guardians 3. That's true of any of these things.
Yeah. No, the fan base is always there. Like, I know we're like basically shitting on the MCU, but people will always go see the films.
People will see them now out of obligation.
Yeah, and I wonder how long that will go on for though. Like, will there ever be a point where people are just like, yeah, like, I'm tired of this?
I think if Phase 4 doesn't figure itself out, there's a potential where people get a bit burned out, especially where there's no direction.
Well, it's in a bit of a sensitive place now, because number one, they need like, I don't know, fuck whatever they're saying, they are going to build to like another Avengers event.
Yeah, of course.
But like now they have all these new characters, and if these new characters have like no differences to what we're already getting, what is the point of having different films? It's just like Blade, Fantastic Four, X-Men, like them three alone. Like,
yeah.
Especially like the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, like they're massive.
Yeah, well, and they're talking about doing another Tom Holland trilogy, like.
Yeah. Also, yeah.
And is it? Yeah.
They still have the rights to Ghost Rider, don't they?
Yeah.
If they ever do a Ghost Rider film, obviously they've got Daredevil back, all the street level.
That's the thing. It just doesn't exist at the moment, like a street level anything. I think
it can't, like, because for some reason in their heads everything needs to be cosmic and like massive.
Well, and yeah, I think they also have a problem of, they know what, before the directors used to come in and say, I want to do a movie about this person. Whereas now they just announce the thing and pick a director.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing a Fantastic Four thing. Oh, who's directing? This guy. Oh no, never mind.
It's like we have the idea already. All we want you to do is come on board and like.
Which I think is what has killed Star Wars as a movie thing. Is they're like, Taika Waititi, you're doing a Star Wars thing,
and he doesn't even know what it is.
I was gonna say, like, what? Why?
And he keeps saying it as if it's like a good thing. Like,
Yeah,
I don't even
I'm
know if
working
they'll
on the
make
story.
Yeah,
And it's like, what? But did you? What was the pitch outside of? I made you this much money with Thor. I'll make you this much money with Star Wars.
that's all it is, though. Where they're like, we want some of that. Like,
Yeah.
people liked Ragnarok, and we want the humor. Like, but what will his Star Wars film even be?
I don't think it's gonna come out.
It probably won't.
I don't think any of these Star Wars movies are coming out. I mean, we had the one from Patty Jenkins, who obviously did Wonder Woman, was announced, and she ducked out. Ryan Johnson's trilogy, who knows? The guys that did Game of Thrones, who knows? Like, I think there's clearly a director problem at Disney, but particularly the Star Wars branch, where they either really click and do like 5 movies with them, or just bounce out.
Well, it's because like there, even with the sequel trilogy, it was like chopping and changing.
Yeah, I mean they I still don't get what happened with Colin Trevorrow. They hired him, then he gave their script in, and they fired him. Yeah, so like, and I'm like, but what did he pitch you on? Or did you just go, oh, Jurassic World made this much money, come on?
Yeah.
Like, Star Wars is unique to Marvel in the sense that people don't see Star Wars for the director. They see it because it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you need.
But
which is what Marvel have managed to do. But
I think you're spot on with the Jurassic World thing.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the Marvel. It's like, your film made money.
Well, and will you do as we tell you?
Yeah.
Want an obscene amount of money to just basically have us ghost direct your movie? Yeah. Sure. And
it sounds like the leaks of his script sound like he was trying to do something different.
With what? Episode 9?
9, yeah. It sounded weird.
I'm amazed that 2 versions of episode 9 exist and neither of them are good.
Yeah.
I'm actually amazed.
But his one sounds like so different to what we got.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm always confused by the fact they hired him and then got rid of him he left to do Jurassic World.
They did something just as like out there where like, oh, Palpatine's back.
Yeah.
Like, oh, your thing was so weird and out there, but we're just gonna bring back like the biggest villain in Star Wars.
Well, and just I think there it was like, oh shit, we know we don't want to delay this movie. J.J. Abrams, come on. Yeah. I think that's what it was. They knew they didn't want Ryan Johnson back because the polarizing reception to his movie. And like, oh no.
So give it to JJ.
Polarizing. Let's give it to the guy that started this, sure. And J.J. Abrams is a good, like, working director where he will crank out a movie for you at the end of the day. He's very talented. Like, the craft level of Abrams movies, regardless of the script quality, he can direct the shit out of a movie on a deadline as well. So, and with a lot of constraints, he came from doing TV, he jumped over, he did like the Star Trek reboot and that. Like, it sounds like I'm dissing him, but I genuinely mean it as a compliment. I say like he's a great working director where Abrams can just fucking knock out a movie. Yeah. And so I get why they went back to him, but it's just like, just delay the movie.
I know, but this the whole thing. Deadlines, money.
Yeah.
Same with like the video game industry, where it's like, no, you can't delay it though. Like, you have to release it, even if the game ain't finished, even if the film.
Yeah. I mean, it's what we saw with Infinite when we were talking about that, where it's just like, well, we promised them this date. We've given you one delay, so
that's it. You need to deliver, and they only gave them that delay because they probably want a game to play. So.
Well, that and like. I think because the public reception to that demo was so bad. Yeah. They were like, oh, not even we can force this out. Like,
because there was barely a game to play when it launched. Like, they had to like release multiplayer first. And then obviously you're missing so many features.
Yeah.
But it's just the similarities between both industries. And both of it is money
I was gonna
oriented.
say, it just comes down to money at the end of the day. Oh, we pump it out.
And I will never understand it because Disney is like the richest company on the planet.
Well, and like it's weird how they negate other, like, talking of game. Where are the Star Wars games? Like, it's weird how like Disney are so blind to certain things. Where like, why are all of our Star Wars TV shows only in 2 specific eras? They're either between 3 and 4, or they're after 6, and that's it. That's all you're allowed. Like it. Why is there not a million different Star Wars shows in different settings?
It's because they want to play it so safe.
Exactly. Everything has to be cohesive.
Yeah, they want to play it safe.
Which is why I will go to my grave bewildered about Black Widow. They're also, we've got to be cohesive, this and that. So let's make a movie about this character after she's fucking dead. Yeah. Like, bizarre, the most bizarre choice in all of Marvel's
when
history.
When is that set? When is Black Widow set?
Between Civil War and Infinity War, yeah.
Oh, because obviously she dies in Infinity War. No, she dies in Endgame, sorry.
I'm telling you, the most bizarre choice Disney have ever made, film-wise, is releasing Black Widow then. I can't even say it's because they wanted like a female superhero thing, because they'd done Captain Marvel already.
Yeah, and they had like 7 other projects.
And Black Widow has been around since 2009, 2010, when's Iron Man 2?
Yeah, literally. She was like one of the first Avengers.
And they were doing all these TV shows, so why not just do like a Black Widow Disney Plus? Like, I as I said, the most strange choice I've ever seen.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see with the MCU. But right now, I'm not. It's same as you. Like, I'm not rushing to see any of these films. Like,
yeah, same.
Even 4. Like,
I probably won't see it. I mean, I haven't seen Ms. Marvel.
I was interested because like Christian Bale was in it, and I was like, yeah, I think he would be good.
But I mean, Christian Bale's a great actor, yeah, but I don't know, man. There's a lot of questionable decisions made with. I think I said it a couple pods ago. Where I just think it's the wrong material. Jason Aaron's run on Thor does not lend itself to Taika Waititi's style, so I just. Yeah, I think it's a mismatch of like, well, this is the most popular Thor movie we've had in ages, so obviously keep that director. Yeah. And this is the most well-known Thor arc in recent history, and it's got girl Thor in it. Perfect. Oh no, they're fundamentally different styles and kind of incompatible. Oh no, who would have thought? And also we're cranking out like 8 of these a year, and Taika Waititi's on like 5 different projects at once, so I'm not really surprised that this one was kind of phoned in, you know.
Yeah.
Thank God he didn't go through with that Akira reboot, because that might have been the worst mismatch of director and source material I've ever seen.
Genuinely.
Because Akira's like a dark, bleak fucking movie.
For real. I just... I don't know, man.
And also, let's just stop live action anime remakes.
I feel like they've kind of fizzled out.
Did you not see the Duffer Brothers are doing Death Note?
I thought we already did Death Note.
No. We're back, baby.
But is it like a new IP?
Because the Duffer Brothers are doing, like, Netflix have basically got them to make like a label where it's like, or a studio where it's like
Duffer Brothers.
Yeah, like, or I think it's called Upside Down Productions. So obviously they're doing the last season of Stranger Things. They're doing the spin-off, and they also announced something else and Death Note live action.
How did I miss that?
I was going to send it to you.
That's interesting.
I think we just need to stop. Like,
I mean, none of them are good.
Has there ever been a good one? I've never heard anyone go, "Oh man, the live action one fucking slaps."
None of them are good.
And Netflix just tried this with Cowboy Bebop, and
it
was fucking diabolical. So why? It's like Sony. No matter how many times they fuck it up, they're still like, "Nah, but there's gold. There's gold in them hills."
It's because people will watch it, and like, on paper, if you told me the guys that made Stranger Things are making a Death Note thing, I'd be like, you'd read that on Reddit. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, like, so people will watch it anything they do now, people are going to
Of
watch.
course.
Just because Stranger Things is massive. But
Yeah.
it's just interesting that they keep trying to shit out like anime live action.
As I said, and they've never been
No, and the other thing that's crazy is they did a Death Note thing. And it was shit.
And it was Netflix.
It was Netflix.
It's not even like, I don't know, Prime did it and Netflix got the rights to Death Note.
It was a Netflix original and it was crap. So why are you doing it again?
That's the thing. Like, but that was a movie. The problem with that was it was a movie.
Oh, it's a show.
I think it's a show.
Interesting.
I just think if you ever go from live action to animated anything, animated to live action anything, you're failing immediately. Just because
there's a reason.
You're so much more limited.
Yeah. Especially with anime, like it's so many animators are like over the top visually. Like, it will never look as good. Like for one.
Yeah, like how in live action could you do? What's her name?
Misa.
Yeah, how are you going to do Misa in live action on any level without fundamentally changing? Like, I'm not being funny. Like, I mean, even just the visual style in general of all the different death gods and like, it looked weird, and they just adapted them in the movie. But having them just chilling there just looked weird in live action. You know what I mean? Like in the manga and in the anime, it works because they're drawings or like they fit in a bit more in the universe because they're not a weird CGI monstrosity.
And it's all the same artist. It's all, you know what I mean? Same style.
Whereas like when you put him in live action, he's just there eating his apple. You're just like, that looks fucking ridiculous. And not in a good way. Like, it's just what are we doing?
And the thing is, like, Death Note is like one of the most toned down styly. For the most part,
that's why it's like the edgy appeal of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, he fucking.
But like, how could you do something like I don't know, any other anime live action?
Literally Cowboy Bebop. I don't know how they did that.
It just wouldn't look as. It's not going to look as
weird
good.
Sci-fi.
Or like Ghost in the Shell. Or It's it just will never look as good.
100%. Like, oh god, I forgot Ghost in the Shell. They did that.
Yeah.
They
won't stop.
And that's, as we said, none of them have ever worked.
No,
ever.
There's not been one good one.
I've never heard anyone go yet, because I'm not like super into anime. I only know like the bait ones, and no one's ever recommended to me like, oh man, I tell you what, you should try out
the live action Bleach.
Yeah, like genuinely, no one's ever gone, yo, the Attack on Titan live action one.
Nah,
kind of hard.
They are genuinely, and they're like all shit. Like it's not even like
oh, it was alright. I suppose it's all like, man, what the fuck did I just watch?
But that's very interesting. I didn't know that they were doing
the Brothers Duff. They're back for another one. I can't remember what the other thing they announced was. As I said, I know it was the Stranger Things spin-off.
What is the spin-off? Do we know?
They won't say. They just say it's unrelated to the main story. Like, it's not a spin-off about like 11 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a new set of.
So, on that topic, I think to finish with, have you finished Stranger Things?
Yeah. Have you? Oh, it was a Stephen King adaptation, which I'm actually quite excited for. The Talisman, which is what he's reading to Max at the end of the latest season. That's the book he's reading.
No way.
Yeah. I haven't actually read The Talisman. It's on my list, but anything Stephen King, I'm there for. And like Stranger Things is already so like Stephen King influenced. Like I trust him with that. Where I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's definitely. I don't know. It's one of them things that are cursed. It's like video game adaptations.
Yeah.
It never works. Like, why do people keep doing it? Because they make money. Like,
genuinely, it's because anime makes so much money. It's like, even if we get 10%,
and
of
like
Death Note's audience,
and like Netflix is like big for anime. So
exactly. They have so much on there.
That's the connection, but they're like 0 for 0. Like Cowboy Bebop was shit, and Death Note was shit.
I'm not being, but Death Note they've already tried,
and it was crap. Like, I don't
like, it was
that.
so bad, so bad.
I don't get that. It's just like, do anything.
It'd be like if in like 2 years Sony were like Morbius and just acted like they hadn't already made a Morbius movie and like, yo, Morbius.
I think they probably forgot they did Death Note.
Probably.
Like, I don't blame them.
It was pretty forgettable.
Although I get what you're saying about it looks like Ryuk looks kind of cool. He sticks out.
He's cool in the sense that he just looks like
Ryuk.
Ryuk. Like they didn't fucking redesign him, and it is Willem Dafoe,
who like is like a good choice.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is like it just is so everything about the vibe is like because they're trying to do dark and serious,
and they like fuck up every character. Every other character is like completely different.
Yeah, I mean they literally change the names of half of them.
Yeah, like come on, just relax.
Yeah, well, and just trying to condense it into a movie was already a weird choice.
Yeah, like you have how
there's
much
so
content.
much. Yeah. Like I get it. There's only the one batch of Death Note. It's not like I don't know Naruto or something where there's 10,000.
But it's still like a lot.
I was gonna say, but it's still a full like however many episodes of the anime.
No, but and
the
like the
volumes
manga,
are quite,
yeah. It's not like a one thing. Like it's not like Akira or Ghost.
Yeah. Where you can kind of see how they adapted that. Like
But Stranger Things
needs to do his job because I don't know. Okay. Obviously, we've kind of talked about season 4, but I guess just generally, I think we both really fucked with season 4, the first half.
Yes. No, I really liked it. Overall, I thought it was good. I said it was great.
It was long.
It was long, and I think in places didn't need to be that long. Like for me, I know there was a lot of plots going on.
Yeah, and like everyone was so separate.
But
you know, they've already talked about next season. They want it to be shorter, and I'm like, that makes sense because this is like
fine with that.
After 3, everyone was so split up.
They had to write them back in something.
Yeah.
At the same time, I thought certain plots didn't need to be there or to be that long. Yeah,
I think to me the main one was the guys tracking down 11.
The army dons.
No, not that because they're not too. I mean, the show literally forgets about them in the last episode. But I meant more Mike and that lot, where they go to a lot of places just to track her down.
Yeah,
sort
like
of thing.
Susie,
Where it's like, bro, you could have just done that, moved on.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's like, how do we stretch out their plot so it lines up with?
Literally. We can't have them get to 11 too soon because otherwise they'll be there when the army attacks.
Yeah.
But
like, it's not a massive.
Yeah, no,
it just felt.
I think this was definitely one of the best seasons for me.
The thing,
I will give you were right about Vecna.
Yeah.
Where he is the ruler of the Upside Down.
But it's like weird. It's like it was already there, but he shapes it.
Yeah. Which I will say, I think it's kind of lame.
I didn't like it.
Like,
I didn't like it.
The Upside Down went from this cool, like, weird fucking place where it's like a force of nature. No, it just hates us.
And they're doing that thing where it's like, yeah, but it was him all along.
Yeah,
he was never.
Yeah.
We only thought about him this season, but he was behind everything.
People are already trying to be like, it's him that kidnaps Will.
I hate.
It's not the Demagogue in it. It was Vecna.
I hate when like things do that.
Yeah, it's a fat retcon.
And like, why? Like, he can just be there. Like,
and just like, why did it take him this long?
Yeah.
Like, what was he just lazy? He was like, oh man, I don't really want to get involved.
Like, there's literally season 1. Like, there's a portal.
Yeah, like
what he didn't know there was a portal.
Season 2, there's a massive portal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And then I shaped the Mind Flayer because I like spiders. That's lame, why he looks lame.
Like and just like.
Vecna was cool in the first half. I was like, this guy's
so
terrifying. Like, he's cool.
Genuinely was one of the best villains
and
because he was unique, because he had a personality.
Yeah, and then they had to give him like a super detailed backstory. Like, yes, like I shaped.
Well, and like
to my
3 backstories.
Yeah,
they're like, so he's Freddy Krueger's son. He's also number one. He's also the guy that shaped the Upside. Like, it's too much. It felt like they were stacking a lot on.
Mind Flayer was all him.
Yeah,
season 3, that's what they want about. And I don't like that because it's bait. Like, they only thought about him this season.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't tell me otherwise. Like, I just don't like when things do that.
Yeah,
to me, it feels cheap.
And as I said, and also I don't like it because it gives the Upside Down like a face,
and
which I think is lame because it's just like, if you're gonna do that, he needs to be more tied in. Where like he doesn't really have that much beef with 11. Like, okay, 11 sent him to the Upside Down, but in the grand scheme of things, he kind of prefers it. Like, it's making him a bloke doesn't really make me any more invested than when a monster kidnapped Will in season 1.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it doesn't. He's not tied enough into the main. Like, him and Mike have no beef outside of Mike doesn't want to die.
It was more like their beef was with the Upside Down.
Exactly.
And you have all this cool lore, 3 seasons worth of lore, and then you're just cheaply going, yeah, it was his.
It's
like,
fake now.
Yeah. And it's like you say, he has no like personal connection to anyone other than Elle.
And even then, as I said, it's not that strong to like.
Well, yeah, and like they retcon him into when they massacre the all the numbers get massacred.
Yeah.
And like I don't know if there's a plot hole, but you know when Papa at the beginning of season 4, Papa's with another kid.
Yes.
In the room.
Yeah.
And then he hears all the massacre.
Yeah.
But then, like, flashback, he was watching it on the monitor.
No. I think that flashback is him rewatching the tape.
He's rewatching.
I think that's because obviously he comes in and he's like, "What did you do to 11?" Because he didn't know it wasn't her.
Right.
I think the idea is afterwards he then rewatched the tape and went like, "Oh shit."
And she pushed him through there.
The thing I didn't like is I didn't like the idea of him searching the Upside Down for one. I was like, I kind of just preferred it when they were like, oh, we found this thing. Let's just send people in and see what happens. Rather than him being like, I want to find number 1.
Because it's like, it's too, because, was it because they wanted information on the Russians?
Yeah,
was
like.
it a mixture? Like, what's.
It's too many plates.
Because they're trying to push in. Vecna was the big bad. And
We
need the final season to be the.
Season.
It needs to be the world's verse. Like,
well, don't worry. Final season, like 4 episodes in, he's gonna get one shot by like Robin, and then 11's just gonna turn evil out of nowhere, and like Michael have to stab her at the end of the show, and that's how it went. And Michael like go live in the Upside Down.
Yeah,
that's how it went.
And my only other thing is, it felt like.
Oh, and when Vecna dies, all the Upside Down just dies. They all die. Because
That's
they're a
it.
hive
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Even though we've killed like plenty of Demogorgons and that, if you kill Vecna, they all die.
Even though like, there was Demogorgons before him. But like the other thing was like, not only did he feel like a bit shoehorned, for me it was like towards the end, they like rushed in to be like, yes, like final season. It has to be.
I feel like they wanted to do the Upside Down invades the world, but we're like, that's kind of a final season thing. So they like do it, and then immediately like, actually, nah.
Yeah, and it's like the shot where like they're all standing on the hill.
Yeah, which I'm excited.
I
like that everyone's back.
It's like all the mystery and that's kind of gone.
That's my big thing. As I said, I like the Upside Down being this dimension that just like wants to kill us, because like. That's what it does.
And like he has the power to shape the Mind Flayer and control the Mind Flayer, but like he does nothing with it.
Well, and they're already trying to be like, well, the particles. They're not the Mind Flayer, they're particles.
Yeah.
Even though we had 2 seasons. I get the problem is we had 2 seasons of the Mind Flayer. You know, and the brothers Duff definitely respond to criticism. Because, you know, season 1 received great. So season 2 is basically just season 1 again, just more. But then people were like, season 2 is way too similar.
Yeah.
So season 3 is like totally different, tonally, visually, everything. And then a lot of people were like, oh, it's too much. So season 4, they went back to like dark, like Hawkins, da-da-da.
Yeah.
There's no neon anything in that whole series. And so, you know, and also people were like, the Mind Flayer again. So here they're like, oh, this time it's a bloke.
It's a brand new villain, like, who was behind it.
Yeah. And so I think just where they're trying to wrap it all up, they're doing the Night King, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're not a force of nature. It's this guy. You just gotta fuck up this guy.
Because I guess it's like, what they couldn't have done the Mind Flayer again.
Yeah.
Really. Like,
I mean, but couldn't the way they do him in season 3, I fucking love.
Yeah.
Like, you could have done another Buki transformation where it's sort of like every time it gets fucked up, it tries a new way of
and
like beefing.
It just breaks through.
And yeah, like I don't know, have like 20 Demogorgons come through the portal and like fuck up Hawkins.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I think you could have done more cool monsters rather than just. I think Vecna should have got smoked at the end of this season, and Mind Flayer has all of his army ready next season. I would have preferred
what
that.
I thought they would have done or should have done is like he's getting bodied, and then the Mind Flayer like takes control of his body and like possesses him, and or like the Mind Flayer kills him and tops him, and then the Mind Flayer's back.
yeah, exactly. Well, and like I thought that's what they were setting up when, you know, they're in the gulag, and they're like, oh, where have the particles gone? And they're like, oh, and he's saying it went in and then he dies, and they're like, oh, it must have gone in the Demogorgon and that.
Yeah.
I thought the twist at the end was going to be after Vecna gets smoked, we see like a bunch of Russian guys have been like possessed.
That would have been sick.
I thought that's the direction they were going in.
Yeah.
Rather than just like, oh, I guess the particles just went in other stuff from the upside. I don't know. What do you want from me?
Yeah, but like
it feels like they wrote that scene where they were like, and the Mind Flayer's here, and they were like, okay, but what do we actually do with that?
Yeah, because
like, I don't know. When in the Demogorgon,
when they get it out of Will, it flies off. But when they kill the Demogorgons, it's just what is it?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I'm just sort of like, I was so certain. I was like, the twist is gonna be because he died before he could say where it went. So I'm like, they're gonna think it's all the upside down monsters, but we're gonna see some Russians who are like tweaking, and then they'll come to Hawkins, and that'll be season 5. Like, oh shit, the Mind Flayer's here, and it's like set up. You know, it's not like 3 where it's sort of weaseling its way in. Like here, it's here, it's back, and it's pissed. It's been in this Russian death camp. Like it's back. You
could have done it, like, or even have it like, because it takes over Vecna, it then gets intelligence. And it can speak, and I don't know. Is like I said, when you bring in a character, and then you just write in, yes, it was all him.
It was all him.
It was all him. There's never like any reference to this, but I don't know. I'm still overall though.
I was gonna say, I think it was a good season.
Yeah.
I think a bit long, definitely, but I think it got everyone to a place. I'm quite excited to see where we go with
we
it.
finish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good time for it to finish as well.
Definitely.
Season 4, like.
Yeah, I just think Netflix is gonna be in trouble afterwards because like,
what do they have?
That is their show. Like,
what else have they got though? That's like big. Obviously, they got Top Boy, Squid Game.
That's it. I genuinely don't know apart from that, because obviously they have like the stuff they get off AMC, like Breaking Bad, and
I know, but like that's like cheating, alive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like shows that are still coming out.
I genuinely don't. As I said, apart from, would you say Top Boy, which is ending, and Squid Games, which has only had 1 season, so who knows if another season can recapture? Like it's just we don't know yet.
Stranger Things done after this one.
I think that's Netflix.
They must have some other big shows that we're forgetting. Umbrella Academy, do you watch that?
I had tried, couldn't get into it. I want to give it another go. But even then, that doesn't have like the reach of these other shows. I don't think. Like I think it's
Sex Education.
Yeah, there you go. That's probably it.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it. Heard it's good though.
I've seen the first season, which is good.
Yeah. Because the guy from it, he's going to be the Doctor. Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's quite cool.
I think, he's a good casting, although like, I don't care about Doctor Who.
I'm only excited because Russell T Davies is coming back, so I'm here for it.
What did he direct? Which Doctor did he
direct? David Tennant, Christopher Eccleston, and David Tennant. So I'm here for it.
Fair enough.
the golden years.
Yeah, I was gonna say Doctor Who's been it's been ghosted for a while.
BBC, they've been bugging.
They got nothing now, like Sherlock's
fell off a fucking cliff. Let me.
Is that done, Sherlock?
It better be.
But like, did it finish?
It stopped.
No, but did it like end?
It doesn't wrap up, but it's got an ending.
Yeah. But like
it just ends with like, and then they go off to do more cases.
But did they say this is like the final season? Was it like marketed?
I think
as the final
so.
Season? Oh.
Yeah.
Sherlock, I've seen the first season. It's quite good.
I don't know. It's so hit or miss. Stephen Moffat. I don't know. Didn't like him on Doctor Who. Didn't. I heard Dracula's good. Haven't watched it.
Is that the? Oh yeah.
The BBC one.
It's it's like 70% a good show.
Oh, so it's a Stephen Moffat thing.
Yeah.
Well, I said Sherlock. 70% of Sherlock is pretty good.
It starts off really
and
cool.
Then, like,
and then it's just like.
Well, I think
Yeah.
we've brought you all up to speed.
So
pretty
we're up to
thoroughly,
date now in pop culture.
That's it. So we're gonna go for another month and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoyed hearing us sort of have a broad ramble, I think we'll see what happens. But maybe next episode we'll do another focused, and we'll sort of alternate like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you enjoy this episode, give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, depending where you are. We don't start a podcast on basically every social media or podcast platform, so make sure you hit us up. Let us know your thoughts on anything we talked about, really. Obviously, the new music. Did you fuck with Kendrick's album? Did you fuck with Drake's album?
That's going to be the big one.
Yeah. And yeah, are you excited for the MCU? I think that'll be it for now. Us talking about FCU.
Yeah, I can't because we keep treading on the same thing.
Well, and just like I don't see anything coming out that's going to change it. We'll probably talk about when Matt Murdock and Kingpin roll up. But apart from that, I can't see anything dragging us back in the near future.
Not yet.
So yes, I don't know what the next topic will be, so I'm sorry I can't hype you up, but we'll figure something out.
That's it. Catch you hopefully next week.
Consistency.
Peace.